Game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Philadelphia fans, we're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Take a look, people. Take a look. All
yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, so we are hunting for Red October. I want you to soak it all in. I got the towel. I got the T-shirt. I got the lid. We are
you got the
playing
lid
no
too, bro.
games today because after 11 years of frustration, 11 years of pent-up fandom, 11 years of coming up just this short in September, boom! Bryce Harper said yesterday in the bottom of the 8th, 2-2 count. Phillies trailing by a run. Take that. Take that. And now the Phillies are on to Houston. World Series, baby. Don't give me any of this last wild card nonsense. Who freaking cares? It's about getting into the dance. And they got into the dance. And they are doing the gritty right now all over the Delaware Valley.
Can we pull up that gritty video again, please?
Get it. Pull it up, Xander.
Pull that gritty video.
Gritties. You know what? You need 4 more. If there's 4 more wins, I will gritty after every single Phillies win.
Wait. Hold up. If you're a true fan, get up right now and give us a 5-second gritty.
I'll give you a little gritty. I'll give you a little gritty.
Right now. I want to see gritty right now.
I don't have a lot of room in the
That's
gigantic studio. Of
I want to see the gritty.
There we go. I'll give you a little bit of that.
Let's see that
I'm
gritty.
giving you a little bit of this. I'll give you a little bit of that. I'm giving you a little bit of this. I'm giving you gritty. Yes, baby. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. This is what we do in late October into November, and let's hope that the Phillies are able to keep it rolling because I don't care what Houston's doing. I didn't care. They were the underdog against St. Louis. They were the underdog against Atlanta. They were the underdog against the Padres. And you know what happened every single time? Boom, dominance. How about 9-2 in the postseason? How about taking care of business unblemished at home? That's what I'm talking about. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. And you know what? Without further ado, let's go to the man who was on the field with the post-game interviews and was in the booth for the radio call. And
there
look
he
at him.
is.
Tom McCarthy's son got married this weekend, and he is taking the time to join us today. That's how we roll on Sports Take. T-Mac, first off, congrats on your son, man.
Congrats,
awesome.
bro.
What an
Awesome, man.
insane
That's awesome.
weekend this was.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. It was pretty cool. I mean, obviously it was hard not to be there on Saturday at the game, but it was a pretty special day. So it was neat. They planned it. It's all from a COVID standpoint. You guys know how tight things are for events, but they planned it a little more than 2 years ago, and there was no lockout. There was no extra wild card round.
Right.
I think it was supposed to be an off day in the World Series. Like his thought process was good. And then all of a sudden the world changed and I'm like, oh no, this is going to be a conflict.
Hey T-Mac, I need to know one thing. I need to know one thing, T-Mac.
Yeah.
Now, you are the consummate professional, but I also know you are a staunch fan. Please tell me you were not out there last night with those crazies trying to climb those grease poles.
I wasn't. I left. We did the event. We did everything on the field. We were in the clubhouse and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, I was driving out of the ballpark, and there were people everywhere. So I was sitting there sensing that Center City was probably going crazy. Although I will say it was way more nuttier than I thought it would be. I really was. I thought everybody
Really?
would save it for the World Series. That was
with
awesome.
you, Tom. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, Tom.
Bro, this is what
go
it's
ahead,
all
Barry.
about.
Yeah,
This
go
is
ahead.
what it's all about, man. Just being a part of something like this. But you know,
Yeah.
I remember you talking about it earlier. You and Rob were discussing it, and you guys were talking about, well, just get into the dance. Well, now they're dancing, and the fat lady hasn't sung yet, man.
No.
What's the possibilities these guys winning it all, man? They're hot.
Well, at this point, honestly, Barrett, at this point, I think it's up for grabs. And
Yeah.
listen, all due respect to the Astros, I think I said this to you guys last time. They're a really good team.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
We're
We'll get
going to
him
get a call. That's all.
We'll
We're
get him
getting a
back.
call.
We'll get him back. Yeah, we listen.
There he is.
Oh, Tom, you're back. All right. We lost you. Hold on.
Wait, we got audio. No
Tom,
audio.
we got video if you can hear us. We don't have audio. So Xander, see if you can hold Tom and let's try and get him. Let me know if we have audio, Xander. That's all I need. You give me the thumbs. We got it, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay, we got you back, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize for that. That was my bad. I'm at the College of New Jersey. My daughter's getting my daughter, is a track athlete at the College of New Jersey, and they were having practice yesterday, and they had this team building exercise where they're doing individual tug of wars. So she won, but in the process of doing an extra one against five people, like it was her and one of her teammates against five others, she fell and hit her head, and she's got a concussion now.
No.
Trader.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We're wishing her all the best.
It's never a dull moment. It's never a dull moment in McCarthy House. It's never a dull moment.
You have enough on your plate right now. I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do think anything's possible at this point. Great matchup game one if it's Wheeler against Verlander. And I think it will be. I don't think that they'll give him an extra day, even though Nola has an extra day. Game two matchup's really good. I mean, the pitching, again, it's going to be that game 3 and 4, just like this series. To me, if the Phillies can get a split in Houston, those are going to be the two key games.
All right, I'm going to start with chalk here, Tom. The obvious. I mean, the run that Harper is on right now, we may have never seen in the history of the postseason. Certainly in a Phillies uniform, and to do what he did in that moment yesterday, I mean, I just sit there and I say, this guy can't top himself, and then he tops himself every single time. I mean, just tell me what's going through your head when he hits that thing, and it looks like it's got a legitimate chance to go out the opposite way.
It's incredible that there are athletes. I mean, you guys know there are athletes that just step up at any time. It was just amazing that he was on that stage and provided that kind of a. I was talking to his parents last night, and I said, your son has been everything that this city could have asked for and more. It was incredible. The whole thing was incredible. It was just, the atmosphere was unbelievable when that ball left the bat. It was unbelievable.
Hey, Tom, I look at Harper's numbers in the playoffs, and before the playoffs started, we had genuine concerns about him being in somewhat of a funk at the plate. What do you think just turned it on for him? I mean, he in the postseason, 439, 18 of 40 runs, 6 doubles, 5 homers, 11 RBI, 10 runs scored, 11 straight games he reached base. What just clicked for him all of a sudden?
Honestly, Deegan, I think it was just getting at bats. Because we just assumed, because he came out swinging pretty well those first couple weeks after the injury, that he'd be fine. But he probably just needed more live BPs, and he could have been in a mechanical funk. I genuinely think that all of these guys put so much pressure on themselves to get to the postseason that once they got there, it was like, all right, we're there. You know what I mean? And they were just like, let's just go. Let's just go. Think about all of us, man. We always, when we're relaxed, we do better. In anything, we do better. And I think that, even though we think we look at these guys as being specimens on the big stage, they're just human beings the same way as we are.
Bro, I'm just amazed at how, I kind of expected from the guys that are supposed to be doing this, you know what I'm saying? The Real Mutos, guys like that.
Yeah.
But when you look at guys, that haven't been in this stage before, the guys that, the Virlings, the Stocks, these guys are, the moment's not too big for them. No. And to me, that's the biggest thing right now. The moment is not too big for Virling. Bomb, all these guys, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's stepping in and really doing their part, man. How great is that to see, man? What do you call them? The kids, whatever you call them?
The daycare. Philly
There you
daycare.
go, the daycare, yeah.
It is pretty incredible. I give a lot of the credit to Rob, obviously Thompson, but also to the clubhouse because, they make them feel as if they're part of it. Like, a lot of times when youngsters come in, rookies come in, not that there's hazing, but that there's, they got to prove their worth. Well, from day one, these guys were brought in and they were part of the family. They're part of the fabric of this clubhouse. And gosh, I think I told you guys this, that I learned patience more than anything else in sports. And these guys were patient with them as they hit some rocky spots. Stott was 6 for 66 to start the year. You don't survive that in a season. Well, he survived it and he made an impact. But yeah, I think it's been great. I think their energy level, it's like dealing with our kids. They're like they have kinetic energy, and you're sitting there thinking, how do they do it? And that's exactly what these guys are like.
Yeah, just for being an athlete, I've seen that before. You get guys like, all right, go sit down in the corner over there, but I don't see them guys sitting.
Yeah,
in the corner.
Exactly.
They're not doing that for
you.
Yeah. Hey, Tom.
That's exactly it.
Tom, is this the loudest you've heard this stadium, or how does it compare to another moment in Philly's history?
It's funny. The 08-09 guys, they were made for this almost. Like they were older, fuzzier, some grayer. Jamie was older than everybody. This team they're just different. They're just a different group. They're funny. Not that team wasn't funny, but they're just really relaxed. They really are. They're really relaxed. Now they're really relaxed more than anything else,
Tom, how about Hoskins? It's been such a up and down, even literally game to game. I don't even talk about his whole Phillies career, but game to game. Boots a ball, big home run. There's just so many moments. And again, huge Saturday. You're down 4-0. You blink your eye. You haven't even batted yet. It's 4-0. You're trailing.
Yep.
And he hits 2 come from behind shots. And then yesterday too. But I think he epitomizes this because he's got the perfect outlook with this. He gets booed. All right. I kicked the ball. I deserved it. Like his mindset is perfect for Philadelphia. And he's emblematic of this whole thing.
I do agree with you, Rob. Listen, he was the first guy I interviewed yesterday after he got off the stage. And before we interviewed, I gave him a hug. And I told him, I said, I can't tell you how proud I am of you. I'm always proud of you as a person, but as a player and as a husband, as just a player. And I really, truly meant it. He's one of my favorite people of all time in this game. I always list all these players that everybody says, who's your favorite player that you ever dealt with? I said, Chris Young from Princeton, who's now the president of the Texas Rangers. He's a basketball player. Or David Eckstein from the Thunder, who, won a championship with the Cardinals. But Reese is right there. He is. He's right there as a person. And
no
Rob,
Barrett
I agree
Brooks
with you.
No Barrett Brooks.
Barrett. Yeah, I love Barrett. Well, I have to love Barrett because he and I are cut from the same height and width and stuff like that. So we're kindred spirits.
yeah, but you don't have brain issues like Barrett does. So that's the difference.
Well, there's some people that think I do, Derek.
Depends who you talk to, Derek.
I can give you a list of people. My house is full of them right now.
But you're right, man. He's something like he's definitely cut, man. That's a great example by guys that just weathered the storm, man. Just weathered the storm.
He's just to me, he's a special guy. I know everybody has flaws. But think about how he responded every single time. Again, a lot of guys wilt under that. They don't come back from it. He just keeps getting up.
And Tom, that's another thing to me. Like nobody's scared on this team. Like even Stott had so many amazing at bats where he'll just fight off a couple of pitches that maybe aren't for him, and then serve in he started or kept things alive and teed things up. From the young guys to the old guys, you're not dreading them coming to the plate in a big moment.
No, I would agree with that. And I guess sometimes I forget. This was a big time player in college. I know it was UNLV. He's a first round pick. He's a big time player. But he's as much a reason for the success of this team as anybody else. I mean, they got rid of Didi Gregorius, who was the everyday shortstop, and said, man, we'll just give it to this guy. I mean, they have Sosa to back him up if they need to, but that could have really gone bad. I mean, defensively, even more so than offensively. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought yesterday with the double, even though he was stranded at second base, I mean, that showed you what kind of a player he is. Big moment, no big deal.
Yep. Hey, Tom, there were several times, just small increments, I allowed myself to say the words, we're going back to San Diego. It was 4-0 Saturday, then 6-4, and then they lead 3-2 on a wild pitch on Sunday, and I'm thinking, they're going back to San Diego. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, boom, boom. I mean, this is a storybook season. I kind of equate to the 2017 Eagles. This was a team, they lost players. People counted them out, thought they were going to be underdogs. Atlanta, Minnesota, even against New England in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
All of a sudden they said, you guys really don't know us and what the chemistry is on this team. And I look at this team now, and as we've just talked about, it's not the same people every day that's being relied upon.
Right.
It's a different hero every day for this team.
Yeah, and honestly, you're right. And I think that one of the heroes that people kind of forget about yesterday, because he only threw a couple pitches, is Reyes. I mean, he started Friday night, and he just came in, bob it in, and it's a different hero every day. And I think that's what makes it a team. I think the 17 Eagle comparison is true. I mean, you surge, man. You believe in yourself. There's nothing that can stop you.
Yeah,
I look at it, and I joke around with these guys, like just before the playoffs started. I'm talking about it's a reason why they went out and got Noah Syndergaard. It's not for what he's going to do going up into the playoffs. I mean, what you saw in that short period of time when they acquired him is not necessarily why they brought him there. I think they foresaw him coming into this playoffs, and now you see that veteran leadership starting to come out. So he's showing guys, guys are a lot more comfortable now. Now you see the Sir Anthony's and everybody else start to. I think they brought him in just as that common spirit, man, in that bullpen, man.
Well, yeah, I mean the additions that they made, the Sosa addition, even Marsh and him.
Yeah.
I thought one of the greatest reactions the other day was when he's warming up in the bullpen and they're down 6-4 and they tie it up and he's like in mid pitch and he stops and he's like, yes. I mean, it was great. It was great. The whole thing. They pieced it together. They've really pieced it together well.
Tom, we haven't even gotten, I can't believe it, to Rob Thompson yet. But, I mean, just it felt like, and I always do this to myself because I'll second guess for a second. And then I say, this guy's pushed every right button. Just shut up, dude. That's what I say to myself every time. But amazing what he's been able to do here in terms of just putting together the right plan. And then yesterday, again, having Suarez up, with David Robertson, who frankly has been a little shaky, to be real, to have him ready to go just in case to break glass in case of emerging was yet another brilliant move.
Rob, you broke up a little bit there, but I think you're asking about Rob and his plan. It's amazing what he's been. I see him every day. I say, hey, Rob, way to push the right buttons today. It was uncanny. Whereas Bob Melvin, who's a really good manager, didn't push the right button to bring in Hader to face Harper. For Rob, he just said, well, whoever's the matchup is the matchup.
Oh, no. All right, we lost T-Mac. All right, yeah, but guys, that's the thing, and that's what I was referencing, and we'll see if we get Tom back up here. He goes with Robertson. He had to at that point. It's just the way the game broke. But he goes with Robertson at that point, and just in case Sir Anthony's ready to roll, Suarez is ready to roll. And, lo and behold, Robertson is not getting the job done. Boom. And did the Padres help? Sure. Grisham's bunt, I still can't figure it out.
Yeah, I can't figure that one out.
But, just absolutely every right button. He's in a zone. So talk about players being in a zone. That guy's managing in a zone right now.
When you think about the approach Sunday was all hands on deck today. We're not worried about games 6 and 7.
No,
we can end this now. I mean, you're talking Eflin,
He did that Friday, Anthony. Derek. He was going for kill shots Friday.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And you're thinking, what he did is unconventional. That's not analytics. That's a feel for the game that we talk about. There's no way you can put that in the category of analytics.
No.
Because we're sitting there going, wait a minute, what's he doing? What's he doing here? And that's a feel, and that's what he's done all season long. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's analytics somewhere involved in this, but that's old school managing right there, and I love it. Initially when it happens, you're thinking, man, this could backfire. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it could have gone wrong 10 different ways.
Yeah, man.
You can't manage that way. You
Absolutely.
can't play that way.
Yeah. Exactly. And when you look at his management of his guys, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'd have sat Rhys Hoskins' ass down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and he's stuck with him. And what happens the next game? His defense mess up. What happens the next game? He rocks it and brings himself out of that funk. You know what I'm saying? Throws the bat down. That usually you'd be like, man, I got to sit this guy. He's spiraling down. He's in a tip. Yeah. He's going all the way down. I mean, I got to sit him down so he can compose himself. He's stuck with him, man. A lot of managers wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? I mean, especially when you have guys that can go in there and play in his absence.
Well, Barrett, look, you speak to this better than anybody else. When a coach of yours has your back,
you're right.
Everything else kind of takes care of itself. Like, I know I'm not going to get yanked. I know this guy believes in me, and that is him, man.
That's huge. That's huge.
And as much as we all, and me too, we're yelling and screaming about Hoskins and all, man, that dude got me here. This is Thompson's thinking. That dude got me here, and I'm rolling with him.
Exactly.
And and those guys appreciate that, man. They want to play for that dude. You see him when he speaks to them after these big games when they clinch. They're all quiet. They're all waiting, like.
Dude, that's key right there, because the emotions of coming out of something like that big.
Yeah.
And when he talks, the entire team is quiet.
Absolutely.
That just goes to show what type of guy he is.
Amen.
With Joey B, odds that D-Gun smoked some pork shoulder for game 1 of the World Series. I can tell you right now, Joey.
Friday night.
Joey, I can tell you right now. Even odds. Even odds right now.
Even odds?
Even odds.
That's even. Okay.
Well, that's not his choice. You know what I'm saying? He likes carne asada. See, that's what it's probably what he's gonna do.
You either that, or a few slabs of ribs.
No, you can never go wrong there, man. Can never go wrong. Yeah. I'll tell you, I was down there Saturday and yesterday, guys, and I was down there.
You worked, right?
Yeah, I did a 4-hour pregame show Saturday.
Where'd you do it from?
I texted
from the booth. From the booth.
No kidding.
At section 125. Yeah. And I did yesterday. I was down there. I did a meet and greet at Citizens Bank Way, which they had the Ferris wheel set up. It was really cool. And wow. People are so, where I'm going with this is they're so happy. Like they're enjoying this run because it was unexpected and because it took so long to get back. It truly, like, people just coming up like, isn't this great? Like, that's what they're saying. It's not like, man, what do you have to do here? X and O. They're just like, I'm loving this. And that's cool, man.
That's a big thing. Yeah. It's not the negative vibes that usually I get from, all right, well, they shouldn't be there. No, you can't get that. I mean, in all actuality, Middleton, he paid for that.
Right.
He paid for what's going on right now.
Yeah.
We were like, well, why is he spending all this money? When they went out and got their 2 big hitters, I was like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. Are we this far? I mean, you think this much of this team that Schwarber and can come in and Castellanos can come in and change us getting into the playoffs? Well, evidently he knew something we didn't know. Yeah. I had no clue.
Well, here's one even bigger. All season long, we kept, not just we, those who observe and critique. They spent all that money on hitting and they neglected pitching.
Yes.
How many times have we said it?
Yes,
exactly. Spent all that money on hitting and neglected pitching. And then people were screaming in August and September, we can't do this. We're not going to make it. This one sucks.
Screaming 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, except for a couple of guys who I still don't want to see on the mound at this stage of the season.
Correct. Brad Hand.
I don't want to see Gibson. I don't want to see Gibson.
No.
Syndergaard, I'm still on the fence with Syndergaard.
Another one. His name rhymes with David Robertson. I don't know. I mean, was that my out loud voice again?
What?
I mean,
look at Rob.
Sorry. Go ahead,
Rob, I haven't seen you this happy since Somebody told you it was a 2-for-1 sale at Acme.
At Cheerios. Yeah, it was a Cheerio 2-for-1
sale
sale.
at Cheerios at
Correct.
Acme, man.
And Peter Pan peanut butter.
Oh my goodness! But this is. I can remember. Remember I was we were the 6th seed going to the year we won the Super Bowl. And look, these guys fighting. They were fighting for the number 2 seed with a week and a half, 2 weeks left, and we'd lose one. But then, you turn back around, the Brewers lose one.
Yeah,
we lose one again, and the Brewers will lose one. We lose one again, the Brewers will lose. It was crazy how we got in it. But once you get in, man, I wasn't. I didn't know. Because it's a lot different from football, way different from football. You know what I'm saying? You get in, win, and you get in. Usually the better team will take over in football when you're playing against a better team once you go into the playoffs. Yes, it says any given Sunday, except when you get to the playoffs, because usually the better team plays good, but you have more of an opportunity with baseball, and I didn't look at it that way because there are more games to play. It's one and done when you're going into the NFL playoffs.
I'll tell you guys this: they don't win that game 1 in St. Louis, I'm not sure they even get out of that series. That comeback,
that's a good point.
Insane.
Absolutely.
You had moments like that comeback in game 1 when you were down, what was it, 6 or whatever, going into the 9th. That comeback, like the Castellanos catch to stop the bleeding.
Yep.
Man,
that game in
brace.
Atlanta.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, there like these moments. Obviously, the Hoskins home run where he slams the bat down. Like, you're going to remember that, all the Harper heroics. But it's that stuff where you go back and you're like, man, none of this probably happens. It just shows you how such a fine line between winning and losing in sports too.
Maybe it's meant to be.
Maybe
it's one of those. It's just one of those fairy tale stories that's meant to be.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just like we won the Super Bowl, and it would just happen to be in Detroit.
Yeah,
where Jerome Bettis.
Isn't that something?
Jerome Bettis is from Detroit.
Yeah,
last game of his career, he retired on that last game.
Yeah,
it's just meant to be. I just think that it's to me, it's not really a fairy tale because we're doing it the way you're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We're actually doing it the way we're supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Lighten them up for 10. You know what I'm saying? Harper comes in and hits, our guy, the main cog in it, wins it for us. These are all things you're supposed to do. Wheeler comes in and our last game in this series, everything is happening we're supposed to have. Our 2 aces are playing like 2 aces. Yeah. Our bats are starting to hit too.
Go back to that moment you were just talking about with the Steelers. I mean, I think sometimes I don't want to use the word luck, but it's like something's in your favor.
Yes.
Okay. Steelers are Indianapolis. Jerome Bettis, who hardly ever fumbles at the goal line.
Yes.
Guy picks it up and takes off. And of all people, and every time I see that play, by the slimmest of margins, the slowest guy in the field, Roethlisberger, gets a hand on his foot and trips him up just enough to cause him to tumble. I mean, if that dude had a juked one way or the other, he'd have taken it to the house.
Man, he'd have blew his knee out. Roethlisberger would have blew his knee out.
But Roethlisberger barely touches this dude and trips him up just enough.
Exactly. The 6th seed. We had the 3rd seed. We were the 3rd seed, bro. The 3rd seed going to St. Louis baseball heaven.
Yeah.
Going there.
Yeah. There you go.
And they pull it out like that, man. 2 of them. I mean, bro, this is unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
And our fans and we close them out in front of our fans every single time.
Incredible.
Yes. But here's the most important thing. You finally have relevant baseball going into November.
I don't know.
It's been more than a decade since you've had that. People usually at this time are focusing on the Flyers, the Sixers, and the Eagles. And now you've been thrown this caveat of the Phillies doing the impossible against 2 opponents, as Rob said, they were not favored against, still standing right now. And I guarantee you they're going to go into this series against Houston as the underdogs against Houston.
Are you ready for this, by the way? So look at the way this lines up. You get the World Series. You got Friday, Saturday at Houston.
Yep.
You come back here Halloween night, and then Tuesday, and then Wednesday here, right? You know where the Eagles play Thursday? A week from Thursday? They play at Houston.
At Houston, yeah.
Okay? You could have a game 6 of the World Series Friday and Saturday. You could go from the Eagles playing the Houston Texans at Houston Thursday to game 6 and 7 Friday and Saturday in Houston.
Isn't that something? That's crazy.
That is, I mean, you talk about like destiny. Like this is kind of supposed to be happening in some weird way.
Crazy, man.
You know,
Bruh, this is what it's all about, man. That's what this is why you play sports. This is why all these guys play sports, for these type of things that's happening right now. You know, you couldn't ask for a better story.
incredible.
You couldn't ask for it, man.
It is
and
incredible.
this is why you do it, man. This is why you play the game, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
This is why you play the game.
Man, do we have a lot to hit? We'll keep it rolling here with the Phillies. By the way, 2:00, Greg Murphy's going to be joining us. 1:00, we were going to dive into the NFL Week 7, in particular, what happened around the NFC East. That includes the Giants. That includes the Cowboys. That includes the Commanders, all three of which won. So we will dive into that. We'll get into last night's game and some of the other big games. Obviously, the 49ers and the Chiefs was a biggie as well. So we'll do all of that. Again, Greg Murphy at 2:30. We'll do some open talk, which includes the Sixers, who are winless, the Flyers, a lot of other stuff to get into. So you don't want to go anywhere. We are on fire today, man, and we will keep it rolling. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, Derek, Barrett, and Rob. All right, so let's talk about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, because knowing who to trust with your finances can be a very scary proposition, right? And I have been at the front of that line and was for a long time until I found Jim and Principal Financial Group. I can tell you from experience that I trust them with my finances, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. You might have a small business. You're not really sure how to set up your employee benefits. That's something else that Jim can help you with. And by the way, I just gave you a few things there. If you just need a consultation, give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751. You can email him as well, Murray, murray.jim@principal.com. That's murray.jim@principal.com.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Derek, Barrett, Rob. By the way, see everybody in the chat section. Appreciate you. See everybody streaming, everybody listening. Thanks for hanging with us. Let's hit that like button. Let's go hard. We haven't had a good run on the like button in a while. Let's go on a run like the Phillies are on or the Eagles are on right now. Let's destroy the like button today. How about that? How about we set a like button record? I already grittied once. I grittied like 30 seconds into the show. So I think that deserves some like button. Like
that what we call it?
Doesn't it? Like, by the way, you see the cup? I got a little Hunt for Red October cup.
There we go. There we go.
Postseason.
Let's put a challenge out there. Let's put a challenge out there. If we don't get at least 400 likes today, we are not accepting any more challenges.
All right. Okay.
400 likes. 400 likes. If we don't get 400 likes, we are not accepting any more challenges.
All right. I like it. I'm with Derek. I'm liking that. If I could smash the button, I would smash it. I'm liking that. So we appreciate all you guys. That's for sure, as we do each and every day. Boy, it was a wild weekend. I got to show you this first because Friday, Jason Kelce was actually there Friday. I think he was there all weekend, but this was Kelce on Friday night. So he gets on the field, right? And he's down there with the Fanatic, and Jason Kelce, he was thirsty. He was a little thirsty. He needed a drink. he had to quench his thirst. He pounds down a beer. All right, he chugs a beer. You had a dude in a mummer's costume. Look at him picking the Fanatic is not a light fella. Okay?
No, not at all. Not at all.
And Kelce was picking him up earlier off the ground. And by the way, what a gentleman. He picks up his can. He's not leaving it. He's not littering. Okay. But Kelce goes out there, slams a beer down. Okay. Look at the Fanatic doing his thing. How great is that? That's the Eagles' future Hall of Fame center out there throwing a beer down with some dude in a mummer's costume, and he's hugging the Fanatic. Like,
talk about somebody that gets it, man. He gets it.
Exactly.
He gets it, man.
He gets it and then some. So I thought that was really cool. And look, it was a star-studded affair. Miles Teller, the actor, who's a huge Phillies fan, was there all weekend. Jay Wright. They had a lot of the guys from the 08 team because Jason Worth threw out the first pitch on Saturday. Friday was Ryan Howard. So you had Ryan Howard, you had Worth, you had Charlie Emanuel there, Boa, like a lot of those guys were down there just kind of soaking.
You were in heaven, man. You had Top Gun out there, bro. Kelce out there. Yeah. You had the whole kit and caboodle, bro.
So cool, man. It's just that's what's great. That's what's great. It's just that's why you get involved. That's what I keep telling my friends who were texting me like, dude, this is so awesome. It is, but this is why you're a fan. This is why you get into it. That's why you enjoy this thing. All right. So I got to ask you guys about this because the talking about this sort of pixie dust that's flying around with this team. They got helped by the manager of the other team too. Bob Melvin yesterday, for some reason, doesn't go to Josh Hader, who's warming up against Bryce Harper, who's a lefty. And I don't care that Josh Hader's never gotten 6 outs in his life.
Exactly.
Dude, it's do or die, man.
Yes. You're trying to get back home, bro. Yeah, I don't understand that. I think he said basically they were going to bring Hader in. They were hoping that he could get one more out before they brought Hader in. In that situation,
against Harper,
yes. And you're considered to have this outstanding bullpen. Even if you use your closer at that point, and he doesn't get you the final 6 out, you still got enough arms to combat this team. That was you talk about the miscalculations at its finest. And Bob Melvin is an excellent baseball man. So that's what made it even more improbable as to why he didn't make the move.
Yeah.
You got Hader standing out there like, am I going in? This is the moments he was built for.
I know. I will, for the life of me, not understand, ever understand. Like, so what are you worried about? Like, if you get to the 9th, he gets a little bit tired. Who cares?
Right.
Survive the 8th.
You got to get there. Yes, you just got to get there.
It's classic, like, overthinking, analytical. Like, dude, this is it. You're not going home if you can't get Harper out here.
Yeah.
Like, and look, I'm not complaining. I'm thrilled about it. And then Grisham bunts in the 9th with 1 out.
You serious?
Pinch hit for him if you don't feel confident that this guy. And I'm not saying Melvin did. I think Grisham kind of did it on his own. But whatever. Like, either he's not good enough to hit in that spot, or you shouldn't be bunting. One or the other.
Exactly.
No. I don't get that move again. And again, it's a move he's going to have to answer that question and relive over and over again. it's do or die at that point, man. You basically took the bat, you took the momentum, what little momentum you had, you took it right out of your team's hands, out of their sails.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm a player, I'm sitting there going, what are we doing? I understand baseball fundamentals, but no, this is unusual circumstance. There's no tomorrow for us.
Yeah.
You have to go against conventional wisdom. Now, if it was no outs, okay, I have no problem with that. But with one out, you're giving it out away?
Unbelievable.
And you're down to your last at bat? In this situation, when you haven't really been able to hit Phillies pitching in big situations as it is? I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get it. But look, listen, again, you make your breaks too. Harper still had to hit a home run. Philly still had to get the last 2 outs, and all those things still have to happen. And it was just and it was just opposite managing of Thompson. Thompson was going for it at every corner from game 3 on. On.
Oh my goodness.
No question.
He was balls to the wall every second that he could possibly do it. He's like, I'm not going back to San Diego. I want to end this thing right now.
And I'm so glad he did, man. I'm so glad he did, bro. It's this is what, this is why Rob Thompson got the extension. And I think that's great that Middleton did that. He signed him to an extension. That's just one less worry that he had to have off his mind.
Yeah.
It put the players in all right, this is going to be our skipper going forward. Let's go out there and play now. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen for him.
Yeah, there's been signature moments throughout, man, throughout this entire run. And look, you worry about this. We'll talk about this more as the week goes on, and whatever. But they're going to be playing a Houston team that hasn't lost a playoff game yet. They're on fire. They had to bye in the first round, so they didn't play as many series as the Phillies have played. But they ripped through the Mariners. It looked like the Yankees were actually going to get that one last night. I don't know how many people were paying attention to it, but I thought, all right, Yankees salvage one. And then the answer said, yeah, you know what? Nope. We're finishing you off. I mean, they're really good, man. They're really good. But that doesn't, like, to me, the Phillies are in that kind of zone. Look, anything can happen. Let me put it to you that way. I do not discount this Phillies team, and I will not discount this Phillies team by any stretch, for sure.
Bro, and I don't want to hear they're playing with house money.
No.
This team is built for where they are right now. They are there because they belong there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They belong there. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of it all, whether we're winner, we win it all or we don't win. I mean, this team, man, is they set the foundation now. The expectations are there now. Mm-hmm. So from this point on, they got to rock with it. They got to roll with it.
Yeah. No, you're right. Listen, Barrett, you're dead on. And yeah, I always thought that the whole sort of house money thing is like, dude, you're there. You want to win a World Series, man.
Right. You play the game.
House money thing is kind of like, who cares? Not really. Everybody cares.
Exactly.
Everybody cares. But I do think, and we talked about this after they clinched against Atlanta, this team has a really nice feel for having fun, being loose, celebrating to the max that night, and then it's business the next day, but not getting ahead of themselves. Like I appreciate that they do have fun and they are able to smell the roses along the way. They're great at that. They really are.
Exactly.
And again, last night.
I love the looseness of this bunch more than anything else. There's no fear factor involved. You look at some of the obstacles they overcame just this weekend alone to get to where they are right now. Mm-hmm. Hoskins, ball goes right over his glove again, and you're right. Some managers, considering the history that he's had in terms of booting balls, might have pulled him.
Yep.
Might have pulled him, but he realized, he knew he didn't have to look over his shoulder. You know what that affects the psyche of a player? Yep. If the manager has a history of pulling players when they make a mistake, you're looking over your shoulder, not in this case. Hey, look, man, you made a mistake. Still got a lot of ball to play. Let's go out and get it. There's a comfort level, a relaxation level when a manager, by actions, show faith. Look, you're basically saying, look, we're all human. We make mistakes. Now get back out there and rectify what just happened. And sure, lo and behold, boom. It's like your dad. Look, son, you made a mistake.
Right. Don't
do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Dad. You're thinking the worst, man. I'm going to get killed. I may not live to see tomorrow, yada, yada, yada. And look, you made a mistake. Just rectify what you did. Let's move forward.
Don't let it happen again.
Don't let it happen again.
How about Bryce playing but not playing in the outfield the entire season.
Yeah, this guy's got a tear in his elbow, FYI. He's doing all this with
we forgot about that, right?
His right elbow. Yeah.
We don't even talk about that.
Yeah. And coming off of a broken thumb, which may have sidelined some people for a season, and fights his way back. It's crazy, man. But what he is doing, like Superman kind of stuff. Really, it shouldn't be overlooked. Derek, you pointed it out with T-Mac when we were talking to Tom a little bit earlier, but just let's reiterate the numbers for it. So yesterday he goes 2 for 4, home run, obviously gigantic, scored a run, but 419 postseason, 5 home runs, 2 doubles, 11 RBIs. This is in 11 games, by the way. 11 extra base hits, a 1.351 OPS, which is unheard of. Okay. A 444 on base and a 907 slugging percentage. That is basically, that's akin to like your big gun, your big boy saying, I'm carrying you, like, just get on. I'm taking you. And we've seen a lot of guys who are highly paid, who are big names, shrink in those situations. Not Harper. Okay. And he, look, he's not alone. Schwarber's had 3 home runs in the series and 6 runs scored. Hoskins has 5 postseason home runs, 3 in the last 2 days. Let's go back to Saturday. They're down 4-0. Bailey Falter, gets torched. The Phillies come right back and get 3 in the bottom of the first, which was huge. And they knocked their guy. The Padres starter Clevenger didn't get an out. He was out of the game without recording it out.
Isn't that something?
So Hoskins hits a 2-run shot to, and the Phillies chip away. All right, all of a sudden it's 4-2, then it's 4-3. Then they're down 6-4, and he hits another one that's a 2-run shot to tie it. These are huge clutch hits. I can't overstate that. These are not, you're up 8-1 and somebody hits a solo home run to add on to a lead. This is you're behind or it's tied, in giant moments. This team is money. Yeah, this team is money.
They did. When they did hit home runs, it became like a rallying call for them. Usually, you can hit one during the season. They would hit one, then they wouldn't have another one until maybe 3 innings later.
Yeah.
But these were, calculated on how they played a little. I'm so glad they changed their game around and start playing small ball in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They couldn't do this during the season.
No.
But it's either going to be hot and hit home runs, or they weren't going to score. Well, now they're getting it, man. They're getting guys on base. You know what I'm saying? RBIs. I mean, if you compare how many RBIs they've had in this playoff system, and take that, and you could probably double up the games in the regular season. And I promise it'd probably be if you double up, it'd probably be the same then, as far as how many RBIs they had then and how many they have in the playoffs, because they didn't do that at all during the season. You know what I'm saying? It was either home run or bust.
Yep.
Home run or bust.
Well said. Look, well said. And so they become the 6th team since 1969. So prior to that, it was just basically you come out of the NL, you come out of the AL, and that's who your World Series is, right? So when they started to expand the playoffs, they're just the 6th team since then. I mean, we're talking 53 years now to reach a World Series after making a managerial change. Okay. So that, pretty significant stuff there. There are on top of that, as if that's not enough. And I know it's different now that you added the walkover, but they're the first 6 seed to reach the World Series. They are 9-2 in this postseason. And we talk about the Houston just running through everybody. Phillies are not, they've lost 2 postseason games. That's it. They're 9-2 in the postseason.
Yep.
They're 5-0 at home, and for people who think the crowd doesn't make a difference, just watch the playoff series the Phillies have played, the Atlanta series and the last series against the Padres. A crowd makes a difference. Not only does it bring out the best in the home team, it affects the other team. It affects them. It flat out does. I don't care what anybody says. Those Padres players were kind of like, what the hell is this, man? Like, we're not used to this. And it played a big part in what's going on. So I give everybody a lot of credit. That's for sure, man. It was a loud, raucous event. Like, I had people. So our setup where I'm doing the pregame show, we're in a booth, almost like a glass encased booth. I describe it as it's like being in an aquarium, except you're the fish. You know what I mean? So what happens is, especially when you're doing 3 to 7, so it starts off at its daylight, and I'm in there before the crowds are allowed in, right? So it's just like workers going by, which it's great. Everybody's doing their thing, whatever. So when they open the gates up, which is I want to say like maybe 2 or 2.5 hours before the game starts, somewhere around there. Let's say 5 o'clock for 7:30. Okay. Then all of a sudden people start to trickle in. And at that point, it's still light. So it's pretty easy to see people. Like I see people I know, waving, whatever. When it gets dark and it gets crazy, you got everybody and their mother coming up to you. And you're kind of you're trying to like take it all in and see who it is. And you're waving to people and you're trying not to get distracted. Good luck with that. But it is craziness. And it was nuts down there. I'm telling you, it was nuts. I've been to a million different Eagles games and Eagles crowds are unreal, but the Phillies crowds really brought it, man.
Were you there for the whole game?
Yeah, I was there Saturday, Sunday. Friday, I got tickets for my wife and my daughter, and they went down. I sat on the couch. I was a couch potato on Friday, but yeah, Saturday and Sunday, it was great. It was a great atmosphere. It was really fun. I sat there on Saturday, and I had a little meal with Sarge Matthews, who's a trip, and he's just telling stories, man. It was just funny. And I had like a cavalcade of guests on Saturday. Larry Anderson, Sarge, Charlie Manuel, Larry Boa. And they all, the one thing I will say about those guys, especially Charlie and Larry, they both managed. Larry Boa is the only guy to manage the Phillies and the Padres, by the way. But what they both said was, and they said this to me off the air, it wasn't just trying to be nice and whatever. They're like, Thompson's in his zone. Like he's locked and loaded. And like every button being pushed is the right button. He knows when to pull a guy. He knows how to motivate a guy. He knows he's a steady force, man. And they're feeding off of it. You got a real perfect storm going right now. You really do.
You do, man. You do. And I haven't seen anything like this, man, in a long time, because when you have your guys going in the right direction like that, it usually, you usually tend to think, all right, well, who's going to do it now? Just, who's going to step up now? But this team, everybody steps up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The most unexpected guy will step up. Usually you can't count on the youngsters being guys that's going to step up. But how many times we looked up and you've seen guys like Stott and Veerling, go out there and make a play.
Yeah.
Usually you look to your leaders. But shoot, they don't care, man. They're not afraid of the whole being up on center stage. You know what I'm saying? They're believing that everybody can contribute and everybody is contributing. Most of the time, just look to your stars and everybody will just sit back and wait for somebody to step up. And that's a problem with a lot of good teams. If you wait for somebody to step up, you'll just stay waiting. These guys don't care. They don't care if it's a young guy. They don't care if it's an older guy. They don't care if it's a guy that, just got there. Everybody's just, saying on the right path, man.
Yeah.
They're on the right path.
Yeah, they're dialed in, man. And that's for sure. It's very cool. It's a fun time. I mean, if you think about it and put it in perspective for a minute, you have a Phillies team about to embark on a World Series, and you have an Eagles team that's undefeated. And I know, for the rare time, the Eagles take a little bit of a back burner with the combination of having a bye week and what the Phillies are doing, takes precedent. I get it. But that's unbelievable. And you watch these teams in the NFL, and you guys, were watching yesterday and last night, and you'll watch tonight. Oof. Patriots and the Bears. But anyway, you watch these teams. Feels like a Thursday night game.
Right.
But you watch these teams week in and week out just shoot themselves in the foot and whatever. And that has not been the Eagles. Has it always been perfect? No. But they figure out ways to win. And there is a lot of similarities in that way.
I'll give you another one. Remember Tampa Bay won the in Tampa Bay. They won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
The hockey team won it.
Oh yeah.
The Lightning.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, also the baseball team won it.
Right.
All in 1 year.
Yeah, there's some craziness, right? A lot of craziness.
All in 1 year, bro.
Well, it's never happened here. In 1980, you had every team went to the finals, but the only team to win was the Phillies. Mm-hmm. You had the Flyers lost the Stanley Cup, and they got really ripped off by a bad call. It was a shame against the Islanders. You had the Eagles. Unfortunately, their Super Bowl was beating the Cowboys to get there, and they got beat pretty badly by the Raiders. Mm-hmm. The Sixers, no shame in it. They lost to a Lakers team that, had Magic Johnson as a rookie, et cetera. But nonetheless, the only team that really brought it home was the Phillies. If somehow, some way, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I understood. But if you could have two teams bringing home a championship, the city might melt down. Like, I'm not sure there is a city if both teams win.
Right.
Did you see any of this stuff last night? Like, I can't believe the amount
of
people that were in the streets for And I'm not saying it's nothing. It's a big deal winning the pennant. They won the pennant last night. Think about what a World Series is going to look like. Or
if they win the World Series, here's what I would tell business owners downtown: board up your businesses and call it a week.
Yep.
I would say at least a week until all the festivities subside. It minimizes any potential damage. It's a shame you have to say that, but we know what happens in championship moments. Board up your business as best you can, minimize the damage, and go on vacation for about a week. It's the best way to describe it.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. I might maybe 2 weeks. Just get away. Lock it all up, man.
Don't have your cars downtown.
No.
Take your cars out to the county.
Hell no.
If you do, make sure you have underground parking.
Yeah.
And ask the supervisor to lock the gate as much as they can.
You are correct, sir.
You said that happened in 1980?
80, all 4 teams went to the finals.
That's crazy.
Yeah, all 4 teams went. Phillies won it, but everybody else went. It was a crazy. I was a kid, but it was a crazy time, man.
They went really to the so and then that was the Jaws' team. They lost the
Jaws team lost to the Raiders 27-10.
Yeah, that's right.
They played tight. They just played a very tight game. They were better than the Raiders. They beat them during the regular season.
Yeah.
And then the Sixers, that was the Magic Johnson 44 points as a rookie game when Kareem didn't play in Game 6 in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They end up losing that series to the Lakers, and the Flyers got jobbed by Leon Stickle, who was an official. Don't get me started. I'm still scarred from that stuff as a kid, man. But that was it was a great time. It was a really great time in Philadelphia sports. And I'm not telling you the Sixers and the Flyers are going to championships, but if you could somehow get 2, man, I think we'd all take it. That's for sure. All right, we'll step aside. We'll come back. We'll turn our sights to the NFL. Week 7, guys. We'll look at the NFC East, see what the Cowboys did. Dak Prescott came back. The Giants look to keep it rolling, and the Commandos were taking on the Green Bay Packers. So we'll dig into all those and everything else.
I love the Commandos.
They're the worst. The worst.
He goes from the commies, Commandos. What's next?
I'm never going to give them the right props. I just always say, as long as Daniel Snyder's there, I'm going to take shots. All right, so we'll do all that when we get back. 2 o'clock, Greg Murphy. We'll continue the Phillies talk with Murph at 2 o'clock, but we turn our sights to the little pigskin when we get back. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network with you on this glorious Monday. Let's talk about Pro Action Restoration, because Pro Action Restoration, look, they're there to help. Okay. Witnessed by the fact that they've been in Florida ever since Hurricane Ian hit, and they are still there helping people out. Tells you a little bit about what they're all about. It's not about the bottom line. It's about helping people. But if you have a business or you have a home or a property and you've experienced the inconvenience of water, fire, smoke, or mold damage, it can be really trying, right? And you're not really sure who to call. Well, I have the right people to call for you. It is Pro Action Restoration, and they're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist. I've gone through it personally, and that's how I got in contact with them. I had water in my parents' basement, a really bad, storm, and their finished basement was soaked. I called Pro Action Restoration. They came right out. They cleaned up the mess. The crew was professional. The price was very reasonable. They're licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. They will work in conjunction with your insurance company as well. Could be water, could be fire, could be smoke, could be mold remediation, any of the above, and then some. They can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or visit them online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, We've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
We're back. We are back on this Monday. Hope you're
Well,
doing
some
well
of us
after.
are back.
A couple. We're 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf once said, Derek. Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis, Barrett Brooks soon. I promise. That's a little teaser. We're going to see Barrett soon, I think. Xander, I need an update. Where are we with the like buttons? Where do you think we are with likes, Derek? Give me
I would
your
say
prediction right now.
maybe, it's Monday. A lot of people hung over from a big sports weekend. I would say
Right.
about 183.
All right, Gunner goes $183. Xander is all he's got the pulse of this thing. Whoa, we're Gunner.
What?
We
Wait,
got to
let me
do a
check.
lot better than this. 103. I'm
See?
told
I
by
see.
Xander.
I know.
All right, so
See?
everybody in the chat room, everybody listening, everybody streaming. Let's up the ante here with our likes. Okay, let's get it up. We can do a lot better than that. I'm sure we can, and we appreciate it. That's for sure. Maybe Barrett's off somewhere pushing the like button. You think that's happening?
Barry's probably out making him a ham sandwich or something.
Were you getting something to eat? What was going on there, man? Where were you at?
I was actually. I'm sorry.
I told you.
He's
I
honest.
understand.
He's
I
honest,
understand.
man. You can't say he's not honest. Come on.
I envy him because I couldn't run downstairs fast enough to find something, man.
Well, I ran upstairs, but then I came down. Gravity took over a little bit, so I was a little faster.
Oh, thank goodness you didn't
Always
tumble
quicker
down.
going down.
Ooh.
Right.
Oh my God! All right, so let's talk a little NFL, guys, because there actually, believe it or not, there was football in the midst of all the baseball craziness over the weekend. And Barrett, good job on your game.
Thank
over
you.
the weekend. ECU against UCF. A lot of initials.
Nothing but initials.
A lot of initials, man.
Players got a lot of initials.
Yes.
A little sideline reporting, man.
A lot going. Yes, you another little wrinkle in the repertoire,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Do a little sideline reporting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice job. All right, so let's. I want to get to. I'll get to Sunday night in a little bit, but let's start with the NFC East and what the teams did around the Eagles. Of course, the Eagles were off. We all know that. They have Pittsburgh next week. That's why we'll get into that game in a minute. Guys, we need this, and I have to do this. This is me. I'm calling myself out. I got to stop with the, this Giants thing is a myth and a mirage. I got to stop.
See, I tried to tell you this.
I know you did, Derek. That's where I'm going. I'm going to give you props. You 100% said you guys better start realizing this thing's real in New York, and you're 100% right. They keep winning. Yesterday, they're 6-1, guys. And I look at the job Saquon's doing. He had 135 total yards, and he's going to get playoff. He's going to get comeback player of the year. There's no doubt about that. He's been unbelievable. I'm talking
about MVP.
Yeah, right. He should be in that discussion. He should be in that discussion because he's the guy they focus on every week. You're right.
Yes, exactly.
They beat the Jags yesterday, but here's what I will say. I am not a Daniel Jones guy by any stretch.
Me neither.
Okay, and I'm not about to tell you he's Patrick Mahomes, but what I will tell you is he's doing what it takes to win football games.
Exactly.
Yeah. And yesterday he runs for over 100 yards. He's not turning the ball over. He's efficient and he's playing very smart football. I give the guy, I'm giving it up. Credit to Daniel Jones, and Brian Dable is a beast. He's a beast of a coach.
I'm telling you, I watched what he did with Josh Allen last year, and that offense in general. It's very similar with less talent, but they're getting the necessary results. Now, obviously, Saquon is on the level of whoever they had in the backfield over in Buffalo, Devin Singletary. But across the board, you're talking about a patched-up Giants offensive line. The receiving core is a mess. You got no-name guys who are leading them in receiving.
Yep.
The quarterback has minimized his mistakes, and I've been watching him close, and I've been telling you guys every week, he's not turning the ball over like he did.
Yep.
They ran for 236 yards in Jacksonville's defense yesterday.
Yep.
And they make the play of the game, a storybook closing at the goal line. They stopped Christian Kirk 1 yard short of the goal line to seal that deal.
Gang tackling, bro.
Danny Collins, one of them, who
yes,
we just back up 5 minutes ago, whatever it was.
He was out of the league.
Yes,
he was a giant. He was a giant. What, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yep.
And they bring him back out of necessity.
Yeah.
But the only thing is that I think they lost Neal for the rest of the season.
Yeah, their offensive. That's a big one.
That's huge right there, because I thought the two tackles were good enough that that you could kind of focus on the interior guys, the slider protection of those guys. But I thought Thomas and Neal were their only saving grace. Those guys could hold up on the edges, which allowed the interior. You could help more in the interior, call protections that focused on the guys in the interior.
Yeah.
With one of them being gone now,
that's a big loss.
That's a huge loss. Now you got to call the offense way different than you did.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see, and I don't put anything past Dabo. We're gonna see. Barry, you were right. That's a huge loss. Now the kid was a rookie, but man, he has played like a veteran.
Yes, he has.
At this point.
Yep.
Now he's a rare rookie that, especially along the offensive line, you go through growing pains. He's a rare offensive lineman to step right into this particular system. Don't know if it would have worked in another system, but in this system, he was perfect for what they needed. It is a huge loss for this team, no question about it. But I'm going to watch this team even closer now, because I didn't see the play, but their tight end Daniel Bellinger had to lead a game. He had a bleeding eye.
Yeah. And he came, and now I think he was back in the locker room afterwards and okay, but apparently by all accounts, it's nasty looking.
It was nasty, yeah. He said he got hooked in the eye or something like that.
He was bleeding and it was blown up. Like it was, it looked like Rocky after, Rocky won. But
what's his name? Who's that?
Daniel Bellinger, tight end.
I think he's 82, number 82.
Yeah. So that's why I say watch this team closely.
Yep.
Because like everybody else, they're going to lose somebody else. And if it keeps going, I'm not saying they're Super Bowl material, but this is very similar to what the Eagles went through. With the Eagles had a much better quarterback and obviously a backup. But this is very similar. They keep losing frontline guys, and they pick up these. You're like, who's this?
Yeah.
Where the heck did they get him from? And they're making plays.
Yep. That's
between
coaching.
him and Wink Martindale.
Yeah.
They're putting these people in position to succeed.
Yep.
Bro, and the two guys that they want to focus on the most being their guys, man, Kenny Galladay and
Kadarius Toney are nothing. They're nothing.
They're nothing. No.
It's unbelievable. And here's the thing. You know what's crazy? The game they have this week is it's at Seattle. Which is 4:25. Who would have thought that's a phenomenal game?
Yes, that'll be a great game.
That was a total sleeper. Who cares? Before the season started.
Did you guys remember that I did pick Seattle again to win this week?
You did, Derek.
Now I will say this: if the Giants hold Seattle to under 22 points, I don't care what the Giants look like on paper from this point on. The Giants are legit, because as mediocre as we thought Seattle was, and they lost DK Metcalf indefinitely with a pec injury or something like that.
No.
Patella.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as they thought.
Right.
Yeah, Pete Carroll said today he doesn't need surgery. They don't know what the timetable is, but they dodged a major bullet.
Well, he could be out a couple of weeks still.
Yeah, but just
a
great
huge game coming up
what it could have been
against the Giants. But if they hold that offense to 22, 23 points, Giants are legit. I don't care what anybody says.
100%.
They may not be the flashiest team. They may not be the most star-studded team, but they're a complete unit that find a way to get things done.
But see, I'm telling you, man, they pay defensive coordinators millions of dollars to get these new wave things, and it's kind of the same thing with Chip Kelly. He came out with that new stuff and
offense.
He ran with it for a while. Well, eventually they're going to take over and they're going to understand how to defend it. And once they figure that, it's going to be tough. I still think that those smoke and mirrors, sometimes the glass will break, especially towards the end of the season when you really need it. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
But when it's smoke and mirrors that you're dealing with an offensive line, offensive running back like that, who, all things being equal, if he had a healthy offensive line, we're talking about a team that could be a dominant team.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to be, from this point on, it's going to be tough for them with them, especially losing Neal like that.
Yep.
And but their defense, man, bro, is crazy, man. It's crazy how good their defense is, and it's just a bunch of guys.
And they're going to get better because Thibodeau's still figuring out how to play in the NFL.
Exactly.
And once he really, it'll click with him. He's a beast.
Name a legit. Anytime you talk about better defenses in the league, there's always one or two star names on those.
Yep.
Name a star name on that defense.
Exactly. Well, you still got Azeez Ojulari. He's hurt right now. He's out right now.
There you go. He's hurt.
Huge. Yeah, he's out.
I love their D line.
When he comes back, he's been good. Of course, look at their D line. I mean, they got 2 first rounders in there.
Yep.
You got Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams.
Leonard Williams.
Yeah. Leonard Williams came. He wasn't he
a Jet?
A Jet. He was a Jet.
Yeah, he's the first rounder for the Jets. I think he came out of USC.
USC. Yes,
bro. I'm telling you. And Dexter Lawrence, he's finally starting to understand how to play. And they made some stupid mistakes towards the end of the game. They might have lost. They might could have, lost the game because of it. But they were to fight. They were to fight back. And I tell you what, man, their secondary is playing tough, man.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got Landon Collins off the scrap heap to come in there and play for you.
Absolutely. All right. So Cowboys, Dak comes back. Now, Dak's numbers aren't going to, blow you away, but he played very efficiently. 19 of 25, 207 yards, didn't turn it over, had a touchdown, 113. They ran it pretty well. But the thing is, too, took it away 5 times. From Detroit. And by the way, all the Detroit hype,
gone.
It's the same old Detroit. But anyway, so the Cowboys get a bounce back after the loss last week to the Eagles.
And of course, Dallas generated 5 more, not only 5 more turnovers, they got 5 more QB sacks.
Yes.
As well. That defense, man, you talk about speed, that defense. But you know what? Detroit handed them the game on a silver platter. Detroit had a chance to go neck and neck with them down the stretch. And all of a sudden, they just handed the game on a silver platter.
They fell apart, man. They fell apart, man.
Exactly.
I mean, Detroit's defense is real, man. They just don't have a lot of talent, but the talent that they do, man, I like how you guys were screaming over that rookie linebacker. I knew eventually, that size and everything, that he would fall apart. Rodrigo. I knew he would fall apart, but
wait. You bought the hype too after that first game. Come on now, you were in there with us, man.
No, I said no. Against us, he played really well.
Great. Yeah, you did.
He played really well, but eventually, you get figured out, man. I'll keep telling people, defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators get paid so much, man, to stop these Rudy Poo type of I mean,
I haven't heard that word in decades.
Yeah, man. These are defenses and offenses that are like gadgety. You can't do that. You can't sustain that, man. You got to get back to basics. You got to go back to doing fundamental stuff in order to win, man. And right now, even the Giants, their Rudy Putiness, man, it's gonna take a toll on them because you cannot continue to run wildcat. People don't do that. That's why it works against. You only have a small amount of time to maximize how many, what plays you play against. Because what you play against 1 week will be obsolete the next week. And when you go against the Giants, you only have a little bit of time to try to prepare for all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's only a couple of days to prepare for it. Eventually, teams are going to see, this is how you stop that. And they're not going to have to, formulate a game plan. They already have a game plan. So they see somebody else stop it. And once one person stops it, the next team will stop it. The next team will stop it. And it'll go on accordingly. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to play fundamentally sound football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In order to win in the NFL. And, that's why the Eagles are having success because they play fundamental football as opposed to playing gadget football. It's hard to win and keep winning with gadget type of plays and running wildcat and all those things and having a guy like Daniel Jones. Eventually, it's going to, there's only so much, magic pixie dust that Dable has in his pocket.
Okay. I mean, look, time will tell for sure when it comes to the Giants. Yep. So the Cowboys get back on track. Commanders, Commanders, another one I didn't see coming here. Taylor Heineke takes over for Carson Wentz, who had the finger surgery. Packers, Derek. Packers, man.
I'm not surprised. The three things they couldn't do yesterday: couldn't run the ball. I was watching highlights last night. I'm thinking, what is Aaron Rodgers thinking? They were showing the highlights, and 3 different occasions, he went to the check down route, and of course Washington is banking on him going to it because they obviously studied the defense. 3 separate occasions. If he had a pump fake one time, he's got dudes wide open down the field, no DB within 10-yard radius. Aaron Rodgers didn't miss that in the past.
Yep.
Somebody up in the booth didn't do their job because Washington was biting on the check down every time and kept Green Bay in check because Green Bay could have blown that game wide open. Three plays could have blown that game wide open for Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers missed all 3 of them. You got guys running like this. Throw me the ball.
Yeah, I know.
And I think the analyst said he's not trusting his receiver.
But that's on him. You
That
can
is
only
on him.
blame
Yes,
the kids so many. Like, their job is to get open. You throw them the ball. If they drop it, then it's on them.
You know what it is? A-Rod hadn't been the same since he started messing with that wacky tobacco. That's what it is. He ain't been the same. He out there messing with that Amazon peyote, and it messed him up. I'm telling you, man.
Pineapple Express won't do everybody right, man. You know what I mean?
You're right, man. Because look at Aaron Jones. He had 9 receptions, bro.
Yeah.
9.
What does that tell you? He doesn't trust the receivers.
Yep. 9 receptions.
But I also just think that I get the same vibe off of Brady. Like, I think both of them are sort of half checked out.
Oh, no question about that. I mean, Brady's so far checked out and gone, man.
Yeah, Brady's like, when is this over, man? How many
right.
How
many games I got left?
I got 10 more. Like, let's go.
Yeah, but you know what, though? Mike Evans did something I have not seen Mike Evans do. Wide open, streaking down the middle of the field, dropped a touchdown.
As bad as you'll see. That's as bad as you'll see from any receiver. Like, he's 25 yards open.
At least, Rob. At least nobody's in the same zip code as him. He dropped it. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, something's up, man. Like, it's like contagious. I don't know.
Once his starting center went, once he was out, he doesn't feel comfortable, man. He doesn't feel comfortable, and even the defense is not playing well, bro.
No,
I thought the defense would be their saving grace. They're not even playing well.
Yeah,
they checked out.
Tom probably saying, Tom thinking, man, how can I keep Giselle from getting this yacht I just bought, man? I got to think about that for a minute. Oh, wait, I got to play? Okay, on 2.
I think it's more so, how can I get some of Giselle's money? How many companies can I take over for her?
Yeah.
All right. I can at least get $100 million out of them. Maybe she'll pay. I want her to pay me alimony also.
Oh my God. All right. So NFC East wise, everybody wins. Okay. Eagles off. But the Steelers, who the Eagles will play this week, it's a 1:00 game at home this Sunday. And that also lines up perfectly, by the way. The Phillies play Friday, Saturday, off Sunday. That's the travel day from Houston. So it sets up very nicely. As did yesterday's game, by the way, a 2:37 start with the Eagles on a bye week. I mean, you can't write this stuff better. But anyway, the Steelers lose to the Dolphins last night. They're now 2-5, guys. So Pickett has 3 picks. Miami came out of the chute. I thought they were going to run him out of the building because they were doing the quick hit stuff. Tua was pop, 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 pop down the field.
Yeah.
And then as the game went on, I mean, Pittsburgh easily could have had 3-4 interceptions in the game, which they didn't come up with, including guys like really good defensive backs who have got to catch those balls.
Yeah,
they could be game changers. Miami kind of stalled a little bit, but nonetheless got the win, and Pittsburgh is just not a good football team.
Well, here's the thing: when you look at Pickett, and obviously every quarterback goes through his growing pains. He only has 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but he's only been sacked 6 times. So his offensive line, which we said that, is mediocre at best, is doing a decent job protecting him. He's just got to read better. Like the last pick he threw at the goal line where they were driving for the potential game-winning score. I don't know if that was on him or the receiver, but all of a sudden you see the receiver right there at the goal line with the DB. The receiver broke behind the DB. He should have lobbed it over the top.
Yes.
The DB made a great body adjustment to get both feet in bounds to pick that off and seal the deal. But those are little things he's going to learn, and his teammates as they get to know him better. those little nuances, because I thought the Steelers were going to drive to win the game because, as you know, when you get to that point, these defenses start going into all this prevent mess and allow teams to go down the field and put themselves in harm's way. I thought, you know what? Pittsburgh going to pull this game out 17-16.
Yep.
Lo and behold, the defining play of the game is made right there at the goal line.
You're gonna have those. Kenny Pickett's going to have games like that the entire season. The entire season. And that's just what comes with a young quarterback, probably overdrafted.
Yep.
But he was the best thing in this quarterback class, so that's why he's starting right now, because they just want to get him some reps.
Yeah.
And because they're just trying to get him some reps, to them this season, man, it's just about him getting comfortable and get acclimated to playing in the NFL. That's the basis of what they're doing right now. For Kenny Pickett, they just want him, and they probably chalk it up for an L.
Yeah, you're taking your lumps. You know it.
Yeah,
you're going to take your lumps.
I mean, anytime you got Najee Harris, 17 carries for 65 yards.
Yeah.
Barrett, that's their offensive line is not good enough, and I know he's not getting sacked a lot, but they're not good enough.
I think Pickett is going to be a good quarterback, but it's going to take another. This year is his learning curve.
Yep.
He's going to take his lumps this year. I think he's going to be better if they can keep those. I don't think it's going to happen because you got the receivers. Between Deontay and Claypool, you got two guys grumbling about not getting the ball. Yeah, but he's going to be there. He's a rookie. But I'm saying the other two are grumbling because they don't get the ball enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of those two are probably not going to be back. They may draft a receiver. They may get a free agent next year.
They're pretty good at that, though.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's really good at two things: finding receivers and linebackers. I give them credit. They always have been. I was there for 10 years, and it amazed me. And I'm telling you, I've covered this game over four decades, and they have one of the best linebacking corps I ever had a chance to cover. When they had Greg Lewis, Greg Lloyd. They brought Kevin Green in.
Yep.
They had LaVon Kirkland and Chad Brown.
Yep.
And Chad Brown used to scare his players to death because he had his own exotic reptile business, and he was always bringing some kind of reptile to the locker room. I'm like, jeez.
No, thank you.
Yeah, he had that in college, man. He had a room. He had an entire room full of, this back when I played, man. Chad was like that. Chad has always been that way, bro.
They'll find those linebackers.
Let me give you this. This is a pretty good, interesting stat you guys might appreciate. This is from Lindsey Rhodes of the NFL Roadshow podcast.
I thought you were going to talk about the singer Lindsey Rhodes.
I don't know her. Lindsey Rhodes?
That's old stuff.
Okay. The NFC South. Okay, so let me give you the standings here in the NFC South. So you have nobody's above 500. Packers are 3-4, Atlanta's 3-4, Carolina's 2-5, New Orleans is 2-5. It's a terrible division as of right now, and I don't see a lot changing, by the way. But the point differential this season, not one team is a plus, is a net positive. Tampa's at 0, they're even. Atlanta's -8, Carolina's -25, New Orleans is -25. That is some bad football. That is some really
horrible
bad
football.
Man.
And can you imagine how he's going to have a top 10 pick?
Yes. Yeah,
he
snookered them, man. He took New Orleans lunch money.
Yeah, he did.
That one.
Yeah, he did.
Just what else is new?
Yeah, he did. That's crazy,
man. There's nothing, and you got that. You got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's playing excellent for you. On top of that, I mean, it's really amazing what he's been able to do. So
when do you think teams start thinking about? All right, man, let's just go ahead and just give it up, and because we need this first round pick.
Well, Barrett, you got in terms of tanking.
Carolina's already doing it, and yet they turn out and win.
I know.
Yeah.
Carolina said to you, I still think Brian Burns gets moved, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't do it if I was Carolina. I'd probably hold on to him, but nonetheless, they're doing it. I mean, we're 8 days away from the trade deadline, so I think teams will tip their hand by who gets traded too. But if you're asking me who goes into tank mode, the Steelers should. They're too prideful. They won't.
I think Seattle will have one of those receivers will be gone.
You think Seattle's going to?
You think Seattle is going to give up one of those? I don't think
they're in first place, Barrett.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Watch what I tell you.
Okay.
They're in first. Right. They're in first place for what? They still don't have a quarterback. They need a quarterback. How did they get a quarterback?
Yeah, well, you got to get really bad to get a quarterback. I don't know if they're going to be able to get bad enough, though.
If they win that division, they won't be bad enough to move up.
Well,
exactly. Well, they won't win a division because even though the 49ers just lost, but they lost to the Chiefs.
Barry, when was the last time you saw a team that had the worst defense in the league and they're 4-3?
Right.
I can't remember the last time I've seen that.
But that's the problem. Like if your division, like if the Rams and the Niners were playing the way we thought they could have played or should be playing, then maybe you could justify it. But I don't know. It feels like if these teams don't get their act together, Seattle's going to be in it till the end of the year.
Exactly.
You know? And the teams that should be tanking, easy. Texans, believe it or not, Broncos. Now, I'm not telling you all these teams will, but they should. Detroit, Chicago, Carolina, New Orleans, but they're not helping themselves tanking, I guess, right? Or unless do they have two first-rounders?
Isn't there a one-win team? Who's the one-win team in the league?
Yes, Houston.
It's Houston.
Detroit also.
In Detroit, Houston's 1-4-1. Detroit's 1-5.
Wow, that's What are the Raiders right now?
Raiders won yesterday, so they have 2. They have 2 now. Yeah,
Wow.
Raiders are 2-4.
The worst prediction ever.
Well,
ever
in modern betting.
Barrett, when you look at the way the NFL has unfolded through 7 weeks, there ain't a lot of people out there that can say they predicted this would happen through 7 weeks. You look across the board, the AFC and the NFC, there's no way possible anybody on this planet could have predicted how this league was going to unfold this year.
In fact, we all swing and miss, man. You know what I mean?
Definitely not with the Raiders and the Broncos. We thought that division. I mean,
well, I here's what I'll tell you about Denver. So they've scored 16 points, 16 points, 11 points. You exclude the one game they scored 23, but they still lost. They scored 9 points, 16 points, 9 points. They are historically bad offensively. I'm telling you guys.
And who's their head coach?
And they're covering
Hackett. It ain't gonna last the whole year.
You keep saying you give them till next week, huh?
Well, you can say
that fire Russell Wilson. And I know
you can say the same thing about Dan Campbell in Detroit. He is 1-11-1 in road games in his tenure with Detroit.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 0-11-1. 0-11-1. It's never won a road game. You know, all that rah stuff is only going to go so far.
Yeah. Hard Knocks only carried him so far. You know, that's for sure.
You know.
All right, so when we come back, we keep it rolling with the NFL stuff. We're going to get into surprises, disappointments, kind of like we did here. We'll dig a little bit deeper into some of the other games. We had the huge Chiefs game against the 49ers. Chiefs took care of business. I think Joe Burrow and the offense have kind of figured it back out in Cincinnati. They went crazy yesterday, so we'll get into that. Some of the receiving numbers are insane in that game for Cincy. So we'll talk about that. A lot more to go with the NFL, that's for sure. 2:00, Greg Murphy's going to be joining us. We'll talk some Sixers and Flyers and Union to close out the show as well. So you don't want to go anywhere. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk about Flynn Tree Services. Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So here's the question. Do you have any types of tree issues in your yard or on your property? If you do, they're just a quick phone call away. They are experts at trimming all types of trees and serve southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, and tree pruning. Now, keep in mind, we're in that sketchy time of year with weather, right? You get some heavy storms, some rain, some wind. Now's a great time to have your trees evaluated. You just make sure some of those branches aren't going to be coming down on wires, on your house, on your neighbor's house, etc. Go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says yes, you can. Jeff says yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say no, you can't, Jeff says yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
All right, we are back. Derek Gunn soon to be in his chair. Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis hanging out with you on this Monday. Hope you're doing well out there, everybody. Xander, I need a like update. Where are we, man? Where are we on our likes? We need to jack it up from where we were the last couple days. Let me update you in the meantime on a couple things. Barrett mentioned the tight end Bellinger from the Giants. According to Jordan Raynon of ESPN.com, who we've had on the show, he suffered a fracture around the eye socket and septum. Yeah, may require surgery. Dable said yesterday the eye didn't look good, but that's a shame. Yeah, he was having a pretty solid year for them and coming on.
Was that
orbital and septum all by the eye? He will have, it could be surgery. It looks like for him.
Wow.
We're talking about Bellinger, Derek. He might have to have surgery. The shame for the Jets, who are having another one of those teams having just an amazing year so far, 5-2, and they win again yesterday. Breece Hall, who was awesome for them, man, as a rookie, kid out of Iowa State, torn ACL, and he's done for the season. Yeah, it's a shame. That's a shame. I love watching him play. That kid is tough, man.
Yeah, he is
tough. So he's out for the year, but nonetheless, let's start there because they Jets. I know they beat the Broncos and the Broncos stink and all that, but nonetheless, they already have more wins than they had last year, and they're 4-0 on the road. Are the Jets like that's toughness? There's toughness there to that team.
What the heck just happened here?
We just lost. There we go.
We lost Bear.
He's back. Yeah.
It's the type of team that Joe Douglas helped build in Baltimore, basically. Tough, hard-nosed team, drafted well, and they're getting no longer with Breece Hall because he's out, but they were getting maximum value on the first 4 draft picks this year.
Yeah.
All 4 of those guys are instrumental to the success of this team. Now that you've lost Breece Hall, it's going to be interesting to see how that changes the complexion of the running game. But I think that defense is going to carry that team a long ways, the way they're playing ball right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their defense. They're another. They're much like their New York brethren. Their defensive line's really good.
Really good. Really good.
And to Derek's point, Sauce Gardner yesterday has 10 tackles, 3 pass defense. Their rookie class has been huge for them. They have really stepped up for them, almost across the board unilaterally. I mean, all of them have played really, really well. So they're getting it from a lot of different places. Yeah,
right. Look at their offense. I mean, they have Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis. Right now, Elijah Moore is out.
Yeah.
Yep.
But even look at the tight end situation. They are getting production out of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how they go on with Brees Hall. I mean, they got Michael Carter and Ty Johnson are the backup running backs. I don't know.
They might be a candidate to acquire a running back if you're not giving a ton up.
Absolutely.
The Jets.
But when you look at their defense, man, C.J. Mosley's one of the best middle linebackers in the league. Quan Alexander are really good. Those two guys are really, really good linebackers. They run well. They make a lot of things happen. Up front, Carl Lawson rushes the passer as good as anybody in the league. They're cornerbacks. I mean, come on, man. Sauce is playing at such a high level. He plays so long, man, but he's physical.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very physical, man.
And he's fast for his size. He can cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but you guys are talking. I'm doing secretary work. I'm doing booking work. You can't see it.
Oh, it just says it just looks like it's white.
Oh, that's why I'm just giving you some insight here. Tomorrow.
Yes.
And I know, Rob, you wanted to say this for later, but what the heck? Tomorrow, Zach Berman at 12:30.
Yep.
At 1:00, just confirmed Mark Jackson because the 76ers are playing tonight. Thursday, Barrett got Charlie Batch for Thursday, 1:30. And so far Friday, we have Martin Frank from the Delaware News Journal for 1:30 on Friday. To talk some Eagles and Steelers.
You guys are on fire, man.
I'm still waiting to hear back from a few more people I'm not going to name yet.
I'm working on some stuff too. Yeah. We're working on
I think we're going to get Max Starks.
Okay.
What?
At 2:00.
Stud.
What day? What day?
On Friday.
Let me know as soon as you know so I can mark it down here on my secretary sheet.
Yep.
Good work, fellas. Good work. I'm loving this.
Rob has been blasting us for not coming up with and has been blasting us for not having more input in the show. I said, wait a minute. He can't talk to me like that.
Do I strike you as a blaster? I don't think I'm a blaster.
I had a conversation with D-Gun. D-Gun said, D-Gun, you can't talk to D-Gun like that. He said, so it brought out that D-Gun got to do what D-Gun got to do.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, Rob is not the
Come
kind
on, don't say that.
I'm an encourager.
Rob is not that kind of guy.
I'm like Rob Thompson. I'm just.
There you go, steady,
Eddie.
Although I'm sure Rob Thompson has a much better palate than the Rob we work with.
I would. Well, that's not a real. There's a low bar that's set there, Derek. That's for sure for me. How about the Bengals yesterday, guys? They take out a Falcons team that had been playing well. Joe Burrow, you ready for these numbers? 34 of 42, 481 yards, 481, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a 138.2 passer rating. Let me give you the receiver. Tyler Boyd, 8 for 155 and a touchdown. Yeah. Jamar Chase, 8 for $130, 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins, 5 for 93. Let's throw in Hayden Hurst for fun, 6 for 48. I mean, that was just destruction.
You know what's even more impressive? How many yards did he pass for total?
He passed for 481 total.
Okay, do the math. He had 345 in the first half.
Woof.
In the first half, he had 345 yards passing.
Boyd had a long of 60 and Jamar Chase of 41. Just
ridiculous.
Alone.
That's ridiculous, man.
Insane.
They're finding their footing now. They're getting. It's been like fits and spurts with them. They're 4-3 now. It looks like they're starting maybe to kind of figure it out what they're supposed to be doing.
Tyler Boyd is just the third receiver.
Yeah. I love that guy, man. He it's no pub and just makes plays every week.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same thing they did last year. They started out, rugged, little jagged first part of the season. All of a sudden, light switch went on with this team. The defense is not playing as well right now as it did last year. It'll get there. Get there. But, especially the way things are stacking up, all these average teams across the board, I expect Cincinnati to be right there when it's all said and done.
Absolutely. All right, the other team that's, I don't know how much I believe in them, but they're playing a lot better. The Titans are playing good football right now. And they beat the Colts 19-10 in a big divisional game because the Colts went into that game at 3-2-1 and the Titans were 3-2. So that was one, that you needed to get. But all of a sudden, you look at what, Vrabel's crew's doing. They've won 4 in a row. Remember, they were 0-2. So they're playing a lot better than they were earlier in the year. The question is, it's always for them, like even if they get in, how far can they go ultimately?
Not only that, how far can Derrick Henry go? Derrick Henry had 30 carries yesterday again.
Right.
You can't keep running this man. I don't care how big he is. He's 245, 250. You cannot run that man 30 times a game. You can't keep doing this. We saw what happened last year. How many games he missed last year?
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep doing this at this stage of his career.
Well, put it this way: their leading receiver had 3 catches.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, put it this way also. Ryan Tannehill left the conference after the game, the press conference after the game with a walking boot on his foot. So Malik Willis might be starting this week anyways.
That's interesting.
Yep.
That's going to be interesting.
So,
if that
and
ends
who do they play this week?
Oh, all right, I'll pull it up. So Indy this week has the
Tennessee
Commanders. I'm sorry.
Tennessee,
Tennessee this week has the Chiefs.
You're going to send that rookie at the Chiefs?
No, I'm sorry. That's 2 weeks from that. They're at Houston. They're at Houston.
Oh, see, that's a winnable game for Tennessee.
Very much.
Yeah. Let that kid get his feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs, man. I mean, that defense is not what is what it's stacked up to be. I think their defense is okay. It's their offense, man. It just keeps you going. It keeps you trying to keep up. And when you have to keep up, man, it puts you out of sort.
Yeah, but it's also an offense, Barrett. I mean, look at the game they played yesterday against San Francisco. San Francisco takes the early lead, and then all of a sudden the Chiefs look around and say, you know what? We're tired of playing with this team.
Yeah.
And they just decimated San Francisco's defense yesterday.
Yep.
I mean, you put up 40-something points on San Francisco. You've more than done your job, and it's that's why it surprises me that they have 2 losses, And I still say they're the second best team in the league right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, one's Buffalo, but I hear you. Yes. You're right. But he's starting to come around. Juju Smith-Schuster's starting to come around.
Oh, and Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, they were both really good yesterday. They were both really good. And it's Mahomes is he's a wizard, man. I mean, the guy is unreal. It's amazing what he's at. That's a good defense. He just shredded. He just took them apart.
I saw Mahomes yesterday roll to his left, stop, twist his body, not turn his feet, twist his body, threw the ball sidearm, through congestion, and completed like a 20-yard pass. I'm like, are you kidding me?
He's like it was for a touchdown. Curry playing football. He is.
It's ridiculous what he does.
And it was for a touchdown also. I mean,
yes,
Juju Smith-Schuster.
It's ridiculous what he does, the angles he throws from, and how accurate the ball doesn't veer, doesn't say no wobble. I mean, I'm talking about darts.
Yeah.
Straight down the middle through congestion. He's completing these passes. Like
Juju, 7 catches for 124 yards.
Yeah.
Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah.
Three catches for 111.
Yeah. He had a 57-yarder.
Yeah. Then you got Travis Kelce
doing what he always
does. Unstoppable, man.
Yeah.
He's unstoppable.
They took other teams' cast-offs,
right?
Put him in that system, and it worked.
You know where else I'll give Big Red credit to? Like he started Pacheco ahead of Edwards-Helaire. He's not afraid to do things like that. And he didn't go nuts yesterday, but 8 carries, 43 yards. That's almost 5.5 yards per carry. He's not afraid to make some moves here and tweak things.
And not only that, why do they run the jet sweep, the shovel pass better than anybody else in the NFL?
Yeah.
It's a part of their every game staple, and yet defenses can't stop it. What do they do that nobody else does as well as them?
Maybe they run so many variations of it, like there's so many options off of it that you just can't quite guess right. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it helps when you have Mahomes behind center.
That too.
Can do whatever he wants. But McCaffrey played a little bit in the game yesterday. Shanahan worked him into a couple packages. He had eight rushes, 38 yards, and he caught 2 for 24. So he actually gave him a little bit, considering he hadn't played. He was there for like 5 minutes. So they win. The Chiefs are very fortunate in the sense that other than Seattle, everybody in the the 49ers, sorry. Everybody other than Seattle in the NFC West is underachieving.
Yep.
You know, you have the Rams that were on a bye that were 3-3, San Fran's 3-4, and Arizona's 3-4.
Yeah.
So, you know, that division is another one. It's not as bad as the South, but it's disappointing.
Oh, it's absolutely disappointing. You could have bought me with a wooden nickel that 49ers team would be 3-4.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have took that same nickel and said the same thing about the Rams until I really diagnosed what's going on with the Rams, and that's just their offensive line. That goes to show how much of a luxury this team has when it comes to offensive line.
And I'll add this also. I'll add this also, Barrett. I'm not a fan of Arizona, but now that DeAndre Hopkins is back and they added Robbie Thompson, I think that's going to change that offense completely. And they're going to be right there as well. I don't know if they're a playoff team, but they're going to be right there as well with those two additions on the team.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this.
Yeah.
I don't think that that trade the 49ers did is going to help them as much as they think it's going to help them. McCaffrey is still – you think McCaffrey's good enough to win them 2 more games?
It's a good question.
I don't know.
Yes.
I think he'll be utilized better, you know, with Shanahan than he was utilized there. You know what I mean? In Carolina. I don't know.
Does that change them that much that they're going to be a Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. Oh.
I think it's about their defense, you know, more than it is McCaffrey.
So I think why would you trade all that capital for a guy that's not he's not good enough to get he's good, he's great, but he's not a Super Bowl candidate type of player.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, to me, there's always danger either giving a lot up or paying a running back a lot. And I don't think it's a smart way to go organization.
But I don't think he's just classified as a running back. He's as accomplished in the receiving game as he is the running game.
Yeah.
He's that dual threat. And you look at what they have in that arsenal. You have Deebo Samuels. He's a dual threat. They run him. He's the same thing.
Same position.
Yeah. Yeah.
They virtually traded for the same position.
Yep. You added more speed and versatility is what you did.
Yep.
But you gave up a lot. You gave up 4 draft picks for this dude who played 10 games in the last 2 years.
That's what would scare me more than anything else. Can he stay healthy too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they have no draft picks next year. They don't have a first because of the move 2 years ago to get Trey Lance. Now they give up a 2nd, 3rd, 4th next year and a 5th the following year to get a guy who is an electric player when he's healthy, but the operative word is when. You know, you don't know how long you're going to have him.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll last the whole season. If he does, he can only help you. But that's a lot of draft capital to give up for a guy with that kind of checkered history.
They probably, I mean, they kind of went down the Rams road of just like forget draft picks.
Yeah. And what the Patriots had done for years when Brady was there, they didn't care about draft picks. You know, they went out and got what they needed. They could care less about draft picks. We don't care about cultivating young players. This is what we need right now. They kept that machine rolling for 15 years doing that.
Yeah.
I thought that they really were going to take a step in that direction when they got McCaffrey. But I mean, you can look at it one way. You can look at it 2 ways. McCaffrey and Deebo are the same guy, and they play the same position.
Yep.
Just one's a running back, and they're going to play on the field. How can you maximize that offense with him? I don't think they know how to do it yet. So I want to see how they're going to do this.
Yeah, look, they got to start winning. You know, bottom line, someone's got to show that they want to, you know, get some distance here in that division, and whether or not Seattle hangs around. So a couple other games of note. Ravens, maybe they're starting to get it together a little bit. They beat the Browns. Not that was all that incredible of a feat, but they needed to get a win.
That was a big win for them in that division. Huge win.
Yeah, for sure. They ended up winning yesterday, and you know, pretty mild game from Lamar. 9 of 16, $120.
Yeah.
For Lamar, and on the ground 10 for 59. It's not often they win, and he's got those kind of numbers. This was more of a defensive game. You know, they sacked Brissett 5 times in the game yesterday, which, you know, obviously was huge. You had a couple fumble recoveries. They stripped Brissett the one time, and People-Jones fumbled as well. So, and Patrick Queen was everywhere. Patrick Queen, 11 tackles. He had a sack, 3 tackles for losses, and a QB hit. So Patrick Queen just making plays, man.
And you notice the receiving game, Rashad Bateman, 4 catches, 42 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Devin Duvernay, 2 catches, 42 yards. Those were the leading receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's man, I'm telling you. That's why I say, this whole year has been one of the most unusual years in all of the NFL I've seen in quite some time. Look at how many teams we thought would be up, they're down. Teams we thought would be down are up. I can't remember in recent years anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
The NFC South, the NFC West are shocking.
Yeah.
You look at the AFC outside of Kansas City, the AFC West shocking. The AFC North shocking. It's just, it's hard to figure out. Man. So
it's why I keep going back to the Eagles, because there isn't any other team you can say this about. They show up every week.
Yep.
These teams don't show up every week.
And it ain't pretty, but they find a way to get it done.
Yeah, the Chargers. What is this with the Chargers?
I was just about to say the Chargers 4-3.
Like, enough with the Chargers. We need to stop with that. Like, giving them any kind of love. I don't like.
What did I tell you guys about the Chargers? Every year I've watched this team. When they had Phillip Rivers back there, they're expected to do this. They never come close to doing anything they're expected. This team falls in that same category. I don't know what it is about this organization. It's like this dark cloud just hovers over this organization. They can't get out of their own way for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the Eagles, I would assume, Barrett, that they keep it, kind of the usual. They'll start practicing again Wednesday.
Yes, they'll start practicing again. They'll, like today, they'll go in, they'll do a little running, conditioning, have meetings, start implementing the game plan. Probably be off on Tuesday, practice on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, walk through on Saturday, and play on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah. Did you see the line on that game, by the way?
What is it now?
12.
So, it's I don't know. Am I shocked by it? Probably not. But the Eagles going into it right now are 11-point favorites over the Steelers. I'm sure they've never had the Eagles ever been 11-point favorites over the Steelers in the history of those two organizations. I would guess not.
Don't think so.
Is
Watt back?
I don't think so.
No, we don't think so. But no, he had a little setback, so I don't think he's going to get in that 6 or 7 week window or whatever they were saying. So I don't think so. And a couple of things we don't know on the Eagles. We don't know about Lane Johnson. We don't know where that is
back.
with the
He'll
concussion.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, he might be.
Yeah.
I just, we haven't heard anything. And obviously Sirianni and the coordinators will speak later in the week. But, look, it sets up as another game that they should win.
Right.
It just flat out does.
We're in a position where this team is a lot better than what we've actually seen. I think they could do a lot more than we've actually seen them do. They are balanced because they are fundamentally sound. They're built well in the trenches. Right. And I think after this after this bye week, I think you're going to see more production from that defensive line, which is going to make that defense even better.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the biggest thing they're going to come back from, saying, look, as far as defense, I need my guys up front to play more like crazed dogs. You know what I'm saying? Not to say they were playing bad, but they were not playing up to the expectations they should be playing right now. I think that's the only thing really that they're lacking is production from the defensive line. Even though they're putting up good numbers, this defensive line could put up great numbers. Sweat has not played up to what I think his ability should be. Fletcher Cox isn't. They're just not going at the rate in which I thought that they should be going, or they should be doing, or what they think, as a unit should be doing. They don't think they should be this. To me, it's like almost like they have a calm demeanor in how they're playing. They shouldn't have a calm demeanor. It should be like trying to rip people's heads off. Mm-hmm. And I think after this, if they watch film and really diagnose with themselves what they could be doing and what they saw themselves doing, you're going to have a totally different defensive line than you saw before.
See, I'm not going to disagree with you, but as I said last week, I don't think that the front four is good enough to get home with authority on a regular basis.
Wow, see? And that's why right there.
Okay, here's now let me add this to it. They're going to pad their stats against Pittsburgh and Houston, and we're going to be applauding. We're going to be applauding their efforts, and then it's going to dip again. I'm telling you. I don't think that front four, the way it's set up right now, they've had the chances against to show me something. That they weed whacked a horrendous Washington offensive line. And we're sitting there going,
weed whacked. I like that.
Weed whacked that. They weed whacked that offensive line. And I'm thinking, we're sitting there going, I was included.
Yeah.
Man, 9 sacks. They did that. About time they did this, did that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden after that, it's like, where are they?
Yeah, I agree. There's
a run.
There's a level of inconsistency there.
Yes.
I agree with you.
You know, so they play next Thursday. Is it next Thursday they play?
The Eagles, they play, yes, a week from this Thursday.
This Thursday. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So they go from Pittsburgh to Houston. See, okay, you win. You got to beat who you got to beat on the schedule. There's no excuses. Yep. And they should smoke these teams. They should beat these teams like bad habits, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And then we're going to sit here and applaud what they're doing. And then after that, it's going to get interesting. Let's see where that D-line is at.
Let's get a timeout. We're going to come back. I
don't want a timeout. I want to keep talking.
You get a full. We need a full. Not even a 20 second.
I don't want a timeout.
Get a full, Derek. So we'll get a timeout. We'll come back and we will turn our sights back to the Phillies. And Greg Murphy, G. Murph, the man himself, is going to join us. Radio pre and post game voice of the Phils in what was just an unforgettable weekend in every sense of the word. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let me tell you about Station Tap. Station Tap has their Fall Fest coming up October 29th. You do not want to miss this. It'll be from 12 to 6, live music with Round Tower, who are an amazing band. I've seen them multiple times. They got a beer garden, kids costume parade, food vendors, cart vendors. Station Tap's got the outdoor seating. The weather's supposed to be nice. So again, the Fall Fest, October 29th, just around the corner here from 12 to 6. All right, 12 to 6, live music with Round Tower. They got the beer garden with all the unbelievable IPAs, kid costume parade, get you set for Halloween, food vendors. You get your belly full, craft vendors, Station Tap with open door seating. Stop on out, Fern Boulevard, Drexel Hill, Station Tap.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Do I need to remind anybody, just in case from what the top of the show? All right. Red October, baby. Red October. Just an amazing weekend. I got, not only do I have the flag, I got the hat, I got the cup. I got it all. It was a weekend to remember. All right. Enough of my bragging about my swag. Joining us right now, does an amazing
Did you buy
job.
it or get it free?
No comment. With the Phillies pre and post game show on the Phillies radio network at 94 WIP. You can follow him on Twitter as well. G Murph Phils, the one and only Greg Murph. Next appearance, I need you because a source told me that you have the full Phillies suit with all the Phillies logo, not just the jacket, the pants as well.
I got it all.
Next appearance, I need you in full suit mode. Okay, Murph.
I can do that for you. That's not a
problem. Would you wear it out for a dinner engagement?
Yeah, at this point, I think it would be well received at this point.
There you go.
That might be a free meal, Murph. I think that might be the move tonight, actually.
Yeah, that exactly is it.
There's part of me that was debating whether or not to put it on and show up for travel day on Wednesday as we head to Houston.
Yes.
We are required to wear a suit on the airplane.
Murph.
And, hey, you know.
You got to do it, Murph.
Make it happen, man. Make it happen.
Do you have a matching tie? Do you have a matching tie to go with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you got to wear it.
Man, he has got all the accoutrement. I like it. We got to get shoes, the whole thing. Murph, I got to ask you, like, when you consider, and I for you personally, you know, some ups and downs, you know, just you're doing great health wise, and we love to see that. Yeah. But to be back with the team now, how cool was this run for you? I'll ask you just individually.
Yeah, you know, it's been amazing. I kind of had to fight my way back a little bit in the last couple of weeks before the postseason started. I was kind of down and out again. I had to have surgery, and I said to Krista and I said to Mark Donardo, my boss over at the Phils, I said, look, there's no way that I'm missing this. I will be back before that clinching series in Houston. And, part of me believed that and part of me wasn't so sure, but I was able to get back and thank God I did. It was so much fun. And honestly, I mean, I don't know that any of us really could have predicted the ride that we're on right now. 3 celebrations now, and hopefully one more to come. So for me, you guys know I grew up here. Been a fan since I was a kid, just like you, Rob. And it's a special thing to get a chance to cover the teams that you grew up rooting for, especially when that clubhouse is filled with a bunch of guys that you really can pull for. It's been amazing. I'm pinching myself, and you know what? As JT would say, 4 more. I don't know how I'll react if that happens, but certainly it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Will you climb the grease poles?
You know what? I will do anything. I'll climb the grease pole in my suit and do whatever they need me to do. I will celebrate for sure.
I love it, man.
Murph, first of all, man, I mean, you're a warrior. That goes without saying, man.
Yep.
You're a warrior, man. So I mean, I now when I have a tummy ache, man, I can't say anything, bro. You just did what you did, man. I can't complain about a headache or anything else. But just looking at this Phillies team, man, and looking at this manager, I mean, to take on the entirety of his whole demeanor. And I think that's the reason why they're playing as loose as they are, man. I usually a team takes on the mannerisms of the manager, head coach when you're in football, whatever it takes. But you can kind of tell it, man. I think this is the best move ever. That from the standpoint that you can't ask for a better manager just to be leading this team and keep them as loose as they are.
Yeah, and you know what? Tip of the cap to Dave Dombrowski for realizing that he had the guy, Rob Thompson, in his clubhouse that could take over for Joe Girardi. Very different personalities, as we've seen. And you're right, Barrett. You think about what Rob has done, and certainly you got to give the players the bulk of the credit. However, you're right on. That calming influence, we've heard it time and time again. His ability to connect with these young players who have made such a difference over the course of the season. Yeah,
Girardi couldn't do it.
I think that you're right. I think that was the disconnect for Joe, in that he expected so much so quickly from these young guys without maybe cultivating them and kind of pulling them along. Rob saw that right from the beginning and has been able to get the most out of these guys. And you're not here without that group of young players developing. I've been saying it all year. I think it's one of the biggest storylines of the 2022 season is the way these young guys have developed. And I think you have to give a ton of credit to Rob Thompson for that. But I talked to Dave Dombrowski briefly last night in the midst of the celebration, and we talked about that, that decision that he made, and it was a difficult one, obviously, and he had lots of choices. Dusty Wathan certainly would have been a good choice. Folks were calling for Larry Bower to come down from the front office. He saw something in Rob Thompson who had never managed in baseball before, and he said, "This is the guy for this club." And man, oh man, Dave Dombrowski pushing the right buttons for sure. He was absolutely right.
Murph, where I really think, just to stay on that point for a minute, where it really took some discerning, I guess would be the best way that I would put it. Thompson was so closely associated with Girardi that a lot of people thought, oh, you're just getting a clone of Girardi. It's going to be the same thing with just a different guy in there. And Rob's very much his own man. And I think that's where it took the internal people to know better than what the public might have thought to make that move.
Yeah, and he's been around for 5 years. I mean, he came with Gabe Kapler's, with Gabe's staff, and you thought to yourself, experienced bench guy coming from the Yankees organization, matched up with a first-time manager, perfect scenario. And I think in a lot of ways it was. But then when that manager position opened up again, Rob wasn't even really talked about. Joe Girardi slides in, takes over. And you're right. You thought, okay, reuniting the two guys that had success in New York. And Rob, it takes a special kind of person. All of these guys are successful at so many levels in their life. And to take a back seat, is as a bench coach, that's your job to support, and that's it. And Rob was uniquely suited to do that and very comfortable doing that. But in the back of his head, he always believed that if given the opportunity, he could take over that lead role. And I'm sure he had conversations with Dave prior to letting Joe go and sliding him in. And he obviously was able to convince Dave Dombrowski that, look, I am not the same guy as Joe Girardi. I am a different person, and I can see what this team needs. And Dave trusted that and went with it. And the result is Red October, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Hey, Murph, give me some of your defining moments when you look back at what transpired over this weekend and the way this team went through the ebbs and flows. And I said off the top of the show, for brief moments when we had T-Mac on, I said for brief moments, I allowed myself, especially on Saturday and Sunday, to say they're going back to San Diego.
Yeah, and Derek, so did I.
Yeah.
And I think you couldn't help, it's been such a long time since the good fortunes just kind of really rolled through Philadelphia, through that Phillies clubhouse. And it's really hard to separate what has happened before with what is happening now. And I think when there's any little bit of adversity, I think it's natural for us, and I think that's true for all sports fans, to just think, okay, it's not going to be as easy as we think. But I'll tell you what, you talk about moments. I mean, obviously, yesterday you think about Price's home run, and that will be an iconic moment that we'll be talking about forever. But I think Rhys Hoskins and what he was able to do, and the way he went about doing it, he's hearing the chirping a little bit, but yet 4 home runs in the series, huge part of what they needed to do. Zach Wheeler, even Aaron Nola, who maybe didn't have his best stuff in this particular series, but the way he presented himself after the fact and just kind of said, look, sometimes you don't have your best stuff. So here you go, Ranger Suarez. I'm going to pass it off to you, and you're going to get the job done. And that's exactly what Ranger was able to do. Mm-hmm. It's not just the hitters that are passing that baton, the pitchers as well, because they're not all going to be on all the time. I think ultimately what we're going to remember about this team is that almost everybody played a part. And I guess when you have a championship team, often that's the case. But it's been a while, and to see these guys from top to bottom really make an impact, different guy each night, it's been awesome.
And Mark, go ahead, Barry.
Oh, sorry. Do you think there'll be a curveball? And instead of starting Wheeler, start go and start Nola instead. Just a little more rest. Wheeler just leaving the series.
Yeah, so you know what? I haven't even done the math yet, but Wheeler would be on what? He would be on 5 days, I guess.
It'd be 5.
Wheeler would be 5,
days.
and Nola would have the extra day if he goes.
Yeah,
game
you know what?
two.
Barrett, I think that's the way they'll play it for a couple of reasons. I think obviously you feel very comfortable sending Zach Wheeler out there on 5 days rest. He did get the bulk of September to rest that arm, so he is probably still feeling pretty strong. I think you love the tone he sets in a Game 1 series, and I think if anyone can benefit from that extra day, it's Aaron Nola. So for both those reasons. And you know what? Why mess with the good thing? That's what they've been doing anyway, right? You know, so for all those reasons, that's the way I would imagine they would go. Now, they might look at the Houston lineup and look at a matchup and say, you know what? We kind of like this for Game 1. That is certainly possible. And Aaron pitched very well against that Houston lineup when they needed him the most.
Yeah,
so
good clincher.
Yeah. So, but no, if you're asking me now, I think it goes Wheeler, Nola, Ranger back here in Philadelphia.
Well, stay on Ranger for a minute, Murph. He has the really good outing on Saturday, right? Or was it Friday? Friday.
Friday.
Yes, Friday. And then he comes in, and obviously great job by Thompson to have him ready to go when Robertson struggled. Just another great example of Rob Thompson managing. But I feel really good about Ranger now going into that Game 3 of the World Series because he's now had a really good start under his belt, and he comes in and closes the door in a high-pressure situation. He's got to feel real good about himself.
I think you're right, Rob. And I've always felt really good about Ranger Suarez. I think people forget just how talented of a young man he is. And I know you guys have heard this time and time again, but the moment for Ranger Suarez is never too big. I mean, he really does have a pulse of about 85, and it never wavers. So his ability to step in and kind of seize the moments. Now, he's, again, not always going to be at his best physically or however, the idea that the Phillies have 2 starters and then it's a crapshoot, I think is wrong. I mean, I think they have 3 really good starting pitchers. And, when you have that, and let's be honest, certainly Houston has that, and we've seen that. And so there's the challenge when they get down there. But those guys can roll up against anybody. And Ranger is a guy that you can just kind of trust to go out there and do his job. I got to be honest, I was floored when they brought Ranger in to close that game. I couldn't believe it. We were down in the tunnel waiting for the final outs, and I'm listening to it, in my ear, and I'm like, they're bringing Ranger in, I couldn't believe it. But like you said, kudos to Toms to know that not only was he ready to go, but that he'd be able to get the job done.
Hey, Murph, from the Department of Redemption, Rhys Hoskins, 5 postseason home runs, 3 over the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Say what you want. We can all say what we want to say about him being a defensive liability. But my goodness, you talk about rising at the occasion offensively. There's so many storylines, but that one continuously jumps out at me.
Yeah. Gunnar, you've been covering sports for a long time, and you always have guys that you get to know really well, that you like, that you pull for. Rhys Hoskins is one of the best people that I've ever covered. And so I'm truly good person. And he's been through a lot in his life. And, the way he handles the misfortunes, the way he handles the adversity, to me it's just really impressive. And obviously when someone like that then steps into the limelight and succeeds, 2 home runs the other night, big home run the other day. So you just can't help but celebrate it. We talked to him last night on the post-game show, and in the middle of champagne and beer being doused on top of our heads. He got emotional again, just talking about how special it is to be part of all of this. And I couldn't help but get slightly emotional because I'm so happy for him. He turns off the noise and he just goes about his business. I hope that ultimately he's remembered as a huge part of the team, this team that got to wherever they end up getting, because
absolutely
he really is, and no matter what folks want to say, I think he's shown it. He's just he's a mega star, perhaps not the best player, but when it comes to being in the middle of this lineup in this clubhouse, he's a mega star on this team. For sure.
Yeah, Murph, the one thing you notice too, just to pick up on that, is every one of his teammates, like from Castellanos to Harper to Schwarber, he's like the first guy they bring up. They're like, I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
More than, even before themselves, they're saying that about Rhys Hoskins. So that tells you how he's thought of in the clubhouse too.
Yeah, Barrett, you've had teammates that I'm sure that you've felt that way about, no matter how good things were happening for you, you just want to turn and say, and this guy too, let's not forget about this guy. And it says a lot about the character of that particular person. When a teammate goes out of the way to make sure that they're getting recognized. So to me, I don't know how much more evidence people need to know that, Pat Burrell, if the Phillies don't ever win a World Series, Pat Burrell's probably not remembered as a successful 1-1, right?
Yeah.
But what he did for that team, he wasn't the best player on that team. He wasn't even the fourth best player on that team. But what he did for that team, they don't get to where they go without him. And I think that Rhys Hoskins is in a similar situation in that regard. Not the best player on the team, fourth, fifth, whatever, wherever you want to put him. But without him, I'm not sure we're here.
Great point.
So many guys, we're talking about, being starved from playoff baseball for the last 11 years. And here we are, we're just getting, this is just a feast of it. Do they have enough, especially with all these guys that haven't been in this situation before? Do they have enough, man? Do they have enough of guys that have? Talk about guys, our best player at this point hasn't been this far yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I think for each guy, it's probably a little bit different about how they'll be able to handle the situation, how they'll approach it. Do the Phillies have enough? Yeah, certainly they do. At this point, I don't think it would be fair to count this group of 26 out.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The Houston Astros
on a roll.
They're the best team in baseball. They are top to bottom.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, they really are. They are as solid as they get. However, baseball is one of those sports that, the old adage, you're going to lose 62. And they did, and they did. You can beat this team, but you got to play a perfect brand of baseball. And so the Phillies are going to need outstanding pitching and timely hitting. And they're going to need to take advantage of the very few mistakes that the Houston Astros will make over the course of the next week and a half. So can they do it? Absolutely, they can do it. I don't think folks thought they could beat the Braves. I'm not sure, that people thought the Padres could beat the Dodgers. Baseball, it can happen. But, it takes a Herculean effort when you're playing a team like the Astros. And I think the Phillies know that. They know they're going to have to play their best baseball.
Well, I look at it, Murph, like you said, they've been underdogs in every series. Like, I just look at the Padres series. They beat Darvish twice. They were down 6-0 or whatever it was in game one of that feels like it was so long ago, that St. Louis game one.
I know.
But, they slayed some giants. They knocked the World Series champs off. I think they're in that sort of, I hate to always draw on the 2017 Eagles, but they're in that sort of dog mask and, world against us mode. So it doesn't really matter whoever it is next. They're just in the way of winning a World Series.
I would agree with that. And I don't know how that happens, and I don't know why it happens. And, I'm not going to ask a whole lot of questions, but, you hear Team of Destiny and all that stuff. And, it's kind of hokey or whatever. However, when it's happening and you're like, how is this happening? And you can't really put an explanation on it other than, I don't know, but it's been a lot of fun. I think you just have to sit back and enjoy it. You got to hope. You got to hope that they don't, certainly Houston can be a buzzsaw. You got to hope that they go out and do play their best baseball and give themselves a chance. Because I think after all this, what would be a little disappointing, and I'm not sure we could be disappointed at this point, but slightly disappointing would be if they kind of beat themselves because they haven't done that so far this postseason. So as long as they go out there and play really good baseball and the chips fall where they are, I'm comfortable with that. I really am.
All right, specific to yesterday, how nervous were you getting with that bad weather? Because it had an 08 Game 5 feel to it, and I'm saying, man, if it either address they get the grounds crew out there a little bit earlier. Maybe those wild pitches aren't. Everything's running through your mind, as you're watching that thing.
And on top of it, part of my responsibility is to fill rain delay,
right?
And which is just no fun. Believe me when I tell you, but for all those reasons, I'm like, please, no one wants to hear me vamping for an hour when we've got this much on the line. Let's not make this happen. Scott and LA were going back and forth. They're like, I don't think they can keep playing. I'm like, they can keep playing. Shut up. They don't need any help. And again, you certainly don't want to end up losing a game because of bad weather. And, that would have been an excuse that the Phillies would have been able to use at that situation. But you know what? The way it played out, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Something evil this way comes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Murph, when was the last time you saw a guy in the hitting zone the way Harper's been in the hitting zone this postseason?
I guess I would say Harper in his the back end of his MVP year,
Okay.
it seemed like he couldn't miss. But in a situation as important as this, my goodness, I mean, he's everything that you needed him to be. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you did, saw the John Middleton quote where he grabbed him on the field and he said, "I think I underpaid you."
Yeah.
For your boss to tell you that at 330, at 330 million that you're underpaid, you're doing something right. And I thought it was remarkable the way he hit it. We've seen the emotion out of Reese and we've seen the emotion out of Schwarber and JT when they've gone yard. When Bryce hit that yesterday, off the bat, he knew. I mean, he took 2 steps out of the batter's box. He knew. And instead of that groundswell of emotion that we've been seeing from these guys, he kind of dropped his head, dropped the bat, and just started around. And I didn't ask him this last night, and I should and I will. But I wonder what he was thinking at that moment, because as Joe Davis said on the television broadcast, great call, the swing of his life. And it was. And for him to be so stoic around those bases, and even when he came back into the dugout, even the celebration, it was like, wait a minute, we still got some work to do. So let's temper the emotion here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I got that too. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was like, we haven't seen that all that much from these guys because the emotion has been so great. And even after the game, he's holding his trophy. He said, this is great, but this isn't what I'm here for. This isn't what I want. I want something else. So I love it.
Cool. Yeah, the National League made him take it up to the podium.
Yes, exactly.
As Bryce said. Murph, listen, man, we love that you're back. We love that you're cranking out. You'll be headed to Houston. When do you guys leave?
Sounds like we're leaving Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
There'll be a workout Wednesday morning here in Philly for the team, and then we'll be leaving right after that. That's the initial word we're getting, kind of get acclimated in Houston and get ready for Friday night.
Very cool.
Praying for you, Murph.
Yeah,
thank you. Let's get one at least in Houston, right? It's been a pretty good formula, right?
Yep,
So,
it's worked so far. I mean, they've been
so far.
road warriors, Murph. In addition to just owning, Citizens Bank, they've been road warriors too.
So cool.
So
yeah,
all good. All right, Murph, keep up the good work, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Thanks, Murph.
Thank you.
All right, you got it, Greg Murphy. Yeah, he's great. Murph's awesome. He does an excellent job with the pre and post game, and he's a battler, man. I will tell you that he is a tough human being. He's gone through a lot physically. All right, so we don't need to get into too many details, but he's a tough cat to still be doing what he's doing, man. And I'm for people like that, I'm so happy for. Right,
Yes, to live this moment.
Yes.
Because you've waited so long.
Yep.
And to go through what he's been going through, and knowing his love of baseball, his passion for baseball, and the dry spell that they've had to go through for more than a decade, to have this, as they like to use in the NCAA tournament, that one shining moment.
Yep. Yep.
This is it, and I hope he gets to grasp this and hold on to this, and be a part of a celebration like none other. That he will remember for the rest of his life.
Yep. Well said, Derek. All right. So we'll come back. We're going to jump around a little bit. We have some Sixers. They played tonight, but it has not been a great start for the basketball team. They're very fortunate. The Sixers are that the Eagles are undefeated. The Phillies are on a World Series run, man. I will tell you that.
And I mean, come on, man. We need to get everybody in shape. When you're saying Harden and Max are the only guys in shape, man, it's getting pretty tough, man. But hey, also my captain Tony, man, he tried to rub it in. So I think I got to put him on. I got to put him on. Yeah, we'll put him on.
All right, we'll address that when we get back to.
Yeah, we have to address that.
Okay, we will do so. We will do so. All right, he's Barrett, he's Derek, I'm Rob. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I'm going to talk to you about Razor technology. All right, so disaster recovery is critical, right? The middle of an emergency is the wrong time to wonder who is in charge and how to respond. Restoring malfunctioning systems, rebooting complex servers, reconfiguring applications, bringing up, backups online, and reauthorizing users all takes time. The longer it takes, the more damage that a business is exposed to. Razor Technology helps growing businesses develop a disaster recovery plan that protects all their essential data. Razor ensures that all your critical systems are backed up and that backups are regularly checked to ensure that they can be deployed at a moment's notice. Depend on Razor Technology, your trusted IT manager service provider, to save time and money on your IT and cloud services. Find out if your business is built to recover from a data disaster by calling Razor Technology today at 866-797-3282, 866-797-3282, or visit them online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia Dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
All right, we're back. Very quick show today, man. Flying by. We're in our final segment already. Hope you're doing well out there, Barrett, Derek, and Rob. So, not to get too heavy here for a minute, but another shooting at a school in St. Louis.
A high school.
Yeah. Chris and Joey, appreciate it, man. My mom, she just, she texted to me.
Yeah.
And, I didn't want to get into it, because when we got a lot of stuff to celebrate right now. But my thoughts and prayers go to to that school. I think there's three people dead inside the school. This is society, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why you kind of need sports a little bit, man. This is unruly, ungodly. I mean, we shouldn't have to go through this. These are our children. Why are we going to our children when they're trying to learn? They can't even learn when there's school shooting. I mean, what did the kids do to you?
No, I mean, it's just there's a lack of respect for life. You know,
I don't like to get into it too much, you know, having kids and grandkids, but it just tears in my heart because we are one of the wealthiest countries on the planet, one of the more I don't want to say smartest countries on the planet, and yet we have more shootings in schools than any other country, and I don't understand how this continues and why it continues. At some point, this has got to stop. You got to be in fear of sending your kids to school to learn, to mingle, to have a good time with their friends. And you just pray, you got to pray over your kids like never before and just pray that they come home safe every day, because what we've been going through for the last 10, 12 years is unprecedented. And I don't know, I don't know if, when, and how it's going to stop, but it's got to stop somehow, some way.
Yep. Well said. So certainly thinking about everybody in St. Louis, prayers out there for everyone. That's for sure. All right. So, no easy segue out of that. That's real stuff. And we're in the toy department here.
I can
Go ahead, Barrett.
I can transition out of that.
Okay.
How about my captain, man? He's
Captain Tony.
He's dogging me out, man. He
What
went
happened?
fishing, and they limited out. They limited out, man. They called each person got their limit of stripers, man. Look at this picture. I don't know if we have it, Xander. We have it yet, but
we
man,
have it.
Guys, I mean, look at this fish. This is Captain Tony right there. This is what he sends me while I'm flying back from Carolina. This is what he
sent you this Sunday. Yeah.
Yes, he sent it to you. They went out on Sunday.
Say that. Captain Tifa Tuna just took the words right out of my mouth. This fishing is better when Barrett's not there.
Jeez. Oh man.
Oh my.
That's rough. That is
I'm
rough.
coming to see you, Weezy.
Wow.
Weezy, I'm coming to see you.
Hey, Captain Tony. Hey, Captain Tony, I need some stripers for my wife's famous fish tacos, man. My wife's
which I've
fish
never tasted
tacos
fish
are through
tacos
the
before.
Hey, this is not about you right now. Okay, it's about me. It's not about you. Okay, we're not talking about you, B. Brook. Captain Tony, I need some striper, man, for my fish tacos, man. Help a brother out, please. I'm just asking.
Fair enough. And why is he should be happy with what he got rather than going after you, Barrett? What's that all about, man?
Oh, because those are my fishing guys, man. Before I had a real job with you guys, I used to go all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a show, so I would go all the time. I mean,
you realize you're not going
anytime.
until next spring. You're not going until next spring now. You
realize
that, right?
Yes, I am.
Think about it. You don't have a free weekend. You don't have a free weekend until after football season, number one. Number two, you're not going out there in January and February.
Yes, I do. We go out all the time then.
What?
Yes, man. That's when the best striper fishing is.
I ain't getting on nobody's boat in January. I hate, how I hate cold weather. And being out with, normally,
cold.
when it's cold and you have buildings to block some of the wind, out there ain't nothing blocking the wind. I don't care how many thermal underwear I have on and heated hoodies and all this stuff.
You gotta have, Captain Tony, Captain Jeff, these guys got boats that they close. They have a closure in them.
I get
and
that.
They have heat inside there, so you just go in there and
that.
eat. So you just watch the pole. What you see, it's just going like this. All of a sudden you go like a wind. Then you go out there and you freeze to death for about 10 minutes. Get the fish in, take the fish out, then you go back into the heat.
Barrett, that's 9 minutes too long out in the elements. Okay, number one. Number two, after watching 15 seasons of The Deadliest Catch, where they're out there, these guys go running out there, and all of a sudden the entire surface of the boat is covered in ice, and all of a sudden you see whoop, feet going. I'm like, no, can't do it.
Yeah, well, they're not out there now because all the crabs
they shut it down.
Yeah, the crabs have disappeared.
Yeah, they're talking about some kind of virus, a parasite that's caused the disappearance, or a combination of overcrab fishing and this virus, a parasite. You know how many people are out of work? I mean, these are people that were making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in a span of 3 to 4 months. Now they're out of work. Like,
right.
Man,
down the entire industry, man. It's going
Rob, over, Rob, Rob's like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
I'm getting educated. When you don't, here's the thing, Derek. When you don't know about something, you should keep your mouth shut and listen. And
that never worked for Derek.
My wife tells me that all the time, but I got to learn to listen to her one of these days.
Yeah. Oh my God! All right, so the Sixers, it has been not the start that we anticipated, folks. I mean, you could maybe understand. Okay, you lose on the road to Boston. Okay, you lose at home to the Greek Freak. Okay, losing at home to the San Antonio Spurs. This is not Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. And
here we go.
The Admiral walking through the door anytime soon. This was a bad loss. Okay, at home. Then after the game, Doc Rivers essentially says, "Yeah, we're not ready," and I'm like, "Huh?
We're not
ready. What's been going on? What was happening the 3 weeks or whatever you had of training camp? What was happening in the off season? How are you not ready?" And clearly, you got guys who aren't in shape. I mean, Maxey, Harden, okay. Who else? These guys look like they're dragging. What was going on here with this team?
Did Boston look not ready? Milwaukee, first game of the season on the road in a Sixers place where they had already played a game to get off the rough edges. Did Milwaukee look not ready? San Antonio, which is one of the weak sisters in the NBA, walked in here, had 6 players scoring double digits on your defense. Their bench, and here we go with the bench again. This is 3 straight games. San Antonio's bench, let's see, 5, 19, 22, 24, 35. The bench outscored the 76ers 40 to 10.
Embarrassing. It's an embarrassment.
40 to 10. San Antonio, not Boston, not Milwaukee, not Miami, not Cleveland, not Atlanta. San Antonio's bench scored 40 points to the Sixers 10 in the Sixers building. And your head coach comes out and says, the 3rd game into the season, we're not ready.
You know what? I'll take that because and I'll take them being out of shape because when I look at it, that's not what I see. I see a team that just might be slower than a talent pool that's out there playing right now. They're slower than most of these NBA teams, and I'm hoping it's just they're not in shape. I'm hoping that's the case. And once they get in shape, they can keep up with these teams that run. But right now, I can't see us holding a candle to teams like a Golden State, Memphis.
Heck no.
They're very,
Celtics.
first of all, very insightful because they are the worst team in the NBA in terms of fast break points. They're not defending well the fast break, which tells me, you're slow. Here's the problem with Harden, and he's in great shape, and he's putting up numbers. He's so ball dominant that everything slows down. Like you can't let a gazelle like Maxey get out and get loose because everything's bogged down.
Well, that's 2 though. That's 2. That's 2 guys that's going to bog the offense.
Yeah,
down.
and Embiid too is going to slow you down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, what do? You pull out your NASCAR. You pull out your NASCAR offense. When you have Thibault and all those guys in, you put Thibault in, Maxey in, put the younger guys in.
They don't score. They don't score.
Well,
you got a road runner. You have a road runner playing with a bunch of anteaters right now. That's what the boys have. You got road runners playing with anteaters.
It's a great point. Here's the other thing, guys. You start your fast break offense off of a turnover.
Yes.
You don't defend well enough to create turnovers on the other end and then sprint out, and get it into a track meet. You don't do it.
That's going to be tough on us, man.
Maybe they can't run.
That's great, man. You got a bunch of road runners and an ante.
That's awesome. I'm totally stealing that.
Right. I'm telling you, you have a road runner in Maxey playing with a bunch of anteaters. That's what you get. Or a road runner playing with sloths. That's what
right. That's what you just can't. You can't have that, man.
There's no balance. Yeah, there's no balance.
Oh my goodness, that was great right there.
Yeah, it's just inexcusable though. Like I don't know. Like Doc Rivers says it almost like, hey, we're just not there yet. We're going to be fine. And I view it like, it may be 3 games into the season, but how is your team not prepared? I just don't get it.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's 3 games into the season. I don't want to overreact, but I expect the product to get better, not stay mediocre. Even if you're not in shape, it shouldn't take you 3 games. You went through a preseason. You went through a training camp. How are these other teams in shape and you're not?
Right.
What was it? What was the Club Med at your training camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They play the Pacers tonight. Now, and this is what Vegas thinks of the Pacers. The Sixers are 12.5-point favorites in this game. Okay.
Wow.
That tells you what they think of the Pacers.
Jeez.
So we'll see. I mean, look, you went out and you got, a DeAnthony Melton and you added a Daniel House and some of the other pieces that you added to that bench. This bench shouldn't look worse than last year's bench, which was one of the worst benches there was.
Oh my goodness!
All signs point to what the heck is the coach doing. I'm sorry,
Right,
I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but I just Doc Rivers, man, not a fan. All right, so the Flyers, look, to their credit, what we thought, we thought they'd probably at this point be like 0-6, to be off to a 4-2 start through 6 games.
I'll take it.
Credit to them. Credit to Tortorella getting them, to play at a decent level. So they've overachieved so far.
They're defending, man.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Can they sustain it? Yet to be determined. But right now, right now, I'll take what
I'm with you.
the fans.
I'm not even going to do they're going to crash there. I give them credit for what they've done through 6 games.
Exactly.
They played well. Union guys, we have a soccer team here that is in the semis. They beat Cincinnati 1-0. They'll advance to play New York. That's a great accomplishment to begin with, but there's even more intrigue with this game because it's New York. Last year, you guys might remember, Union had 12 guys who were on the COVID restricted list, whatever.
Yep.
6 of which were starters. And the league wouldn't delay the game to give them a fighting chance. So they had to go out there with like the 3 of us playing, and they lost and got eliminated. So this is a real kind of revenge game for the Union. This one's got a lot of intrigue involved.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to go out and get me a Union shirt.
That's right.
Bro, I love the facilities that down there. Rob, you talked about it last week, man. To go see a game down there is unbelievable, man.
So cool.
Really, and you know what? It's family friendly in terms of cost, concessions. It's a great outing on a summer day, a summer evening to go watch them play. And plus, they're a very good team.
Yep.
How would they run the table and win it all just to stick it back in the league's face that screwed them over last year?
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
That's amazing, right? It is. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I think, they're playing a good team, but that would be pretty cool. I mean, if the Union could keep this roll going that Philadelphia Sports are on, that would be pretty awesome.
See, New Jersey Fishing Maniac says, who can watch soccer? And for the most part, I'm with you. But I'm telling you what, the World Cup is coming up. Every time the World Cup's on, I don't miss the World Cup.
Yep.
You're talking about the best of the best. And to see some of the things they can do with their ball, up as fast as I'm just intrigued by seeing the best of the best. I don't know who's going to win.
For your country. What? Yeah, exactly.
And then, of course, it gets a little heated, and they start elbowing each other and, grabbing jerseys and stuff. I mean, I love it. I can't wait till the World Cup starts next month.
I'm with you. All right, so I wanted to pass this NFL note along before we dive into the birthday. So Matt Ryan's got a bit of a shoulder issue, but Frank Reich, interestingly enough, said today, even if he wasn't experiencing any kind of shoulder issues, we're going with Sam Ehlinger from here on out.
Whoa.
Yeah, Matt Ryan benched.
Well, let's see. They go from Carson Wentz, one and done. Matt Ryan can't even get through the whole season?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. They're pulling the trigger. They are not happy with the way things are going. Obviously they lost 19-10 yesterday. But yeah, they've decided to go with Ehlinger. Ehlinger's a guy who was a gunslinger at Texas.
Yep.
Had a great career there. Tough kids, not a little undersized, all heart. But the question is, can he make the NFL throws? And we're gonna find out. He's in his second season out of Texas, so he takes over. Yeah.
Hey, the Colts have spent a lot of money on quarterback by committee.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. The last not even 2 years.
Yeah.
Last season plus. The money they've invested in that position, bringing veterans in and getting little for their return.
Yeah, that's where you really wonder. Frank Reich and the GM, they might be in some trouble.
Tells me the Colts are looking for a quarterback next year. They're going to tank this year and look for a quarterback next year.
Yeah, could. You know what? Could be, right? Could be. They play the Commanders this Sunday. That game's in Washington. So you'll have a Heineke-Ehlinger matchup, just like we all thought it was going to work out.
Can you imagine paying good money to see Heineke versus Ehlinger in a game?
No. Can you imagine paying good money to sit in that dump in Washington for starters?
Oh, right. No.
No good money being spent there.
I don't know. I don't know if I go watch my kids play.
The game's in Indy. I apologize. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know if I go watch my kids play if it was in that dump in Washington, to be honest.
It's true.
That's how much I hate that stadium.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys this before we get into the birthdays. How do you think Joe Girardi is watching this playoff run? And like, could you even bring yourself to watch it?
No.
You know, like, it's weird. You got to be happy for the guy who was your right-hand man for a long time in Thompson, right? But also, man, they were 22 and 29 when you got fired, and now they're in the World Series. Like, that's got to kill you. I'm sorry. You're a competitor. That's got to kill you.
You know, I don't know him. Don't know anything about him, but I knew if I was in the same position and that happened to me, I would watch because I want to see these guys succeed. I'd be happy for the guys, especially when you consider he spent over a year with these guys, a year and a half.
Oh, more than that. Yeah.
I mean, how long was he here?
This was his 4th year, I believe.
Okay, 4th year. Because there's so many guys, especially guys who were on that brink of being great coming up, I would be happy for him to be. I would sit back and reflect on myself. I didn't get the job done, first and foremost. Secondly, I would be like, I'm happy for the guys in the organization. I mean, they gave me more than 3 years to try to do this, and I didn't get it done. Obviously, I didn't have the talent pool until this year that they have now, but I didn't come close to getting it done. I would still be happy for the guys. Yeah. That's just me.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Barry?
I don't know if I'd be mad as hell. I'd be hating.
Yeah, but hating on who though?
Some of the suckers didn't even go out there and play for me like they playing for this game.
I think I'd be more. If I'm being honest, and this is a character flaw with me, I'm leaning more towards Barrett. Like I'd be angry. Like Derek, it shows a lot about your character. I'm serious.
Yeah,
like your character that you would feel that way. There would be a part of me that'd be like, I don't know if I could watch it. Frankly.
I hope they get their ass kicked.
Yes.
See, that's not me. It would be hey, I didn't get it done. You know why I can say that? Because I'm sitting on a gold mine. If I never manage again, I'm set for life. You know, but
he is set for financially he's fine.
You know, but the bottom line was I was given
like that before he got here though.
Well, no, but I was given a task. I didn't get it done. You know, I'm upset with me, not the players, because I wasn't able to bring the most out of these players. I was giving a revamped lineup with better marquee talent across the board, and I failed. Plain and simple, I failed.
Okay. Interesting. It's a good way. It's a very mature,
Very seldom does the word maturity coincide with my name. So I thank you, Mr. Ellis. I thank you for that.
Well, you know what? You look at it. You're absolutely right, man. Because he can't do anything but say, well, look at it. They went out and spent all this money on me. They brought in 2 of the top hitters, that were in free agency. So, and I didn't get it done with those 2 top guys. So it's my fault. I mean, even Rob Thompson handling of Castellanos, man.
Yeah. When a certain person wanted him jettisoned from the organization,
right?
No names mentioned, but and I kept telling him, Rob, be patient. Be patient.
I admit, I'm guilty.
And now, what was it? Late September. Castellanos on fire. That's my guy. And I'm like, okay.
Before that was Castellanos must die.
Yes. Yeah.
You need to fire him. Send him back to the AAA minor leagues, the triple swamp leagues, or wherever you want to send him.
Ride or die, man. We're riding right now. Yes, I know. And he caught the final out. And this was nice. I will give him this too. So he caught the final out yesterday, right? And a lot of times when you do that, I'm keeping this bad boy. I'm putting it in my back pocket. Gave it to Harper. So that was pretty cool.
Yep, that was cool.
Yeah. All right. So birthdays. Drake is 36 years old. Drake is a fan of every team that's winning. He likes the Raptors when they're winning. He likes LeBron when he's winning. He likes this. I don't know who else, but he's a front running fan. That's for sure. But Drake is 36. The actor F. Murray Abraham, who's been in a lot of stuff, won an Academy Award, is 83 today. Kevin Kline, who was been in a ton of stuff.
Oh my goodness,
himself, good in it. He's great in A Fish Called Wanda. If you've ever seen the movie,
I love that movie.
He's so good in that. Really good. B.D. Wong, who's an actor, he was in Law and Order, SUV.
Yep.
Or SVU, SUV. He was in Law and Order where they drive cars around. But no, Law and Order SVU, not SUV. They all just get in and they're, hey, you like this? It's nice and roomy. All right. Monica, the singer, is 42 years old. Monica. Wayne Rooney, speaking of soccer, he's a footballer. He is 37 years old now a coach or manager, as they call them. Dusty Rhodes, the former wrestler, celebrating a birthday.
Baby.
Yes, Dusty celebrating a birthday. What else you got, Derek? I didn't have a ton of birthdays today. I got a couple movies.
You got Eric Hosmer of the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah.
The first baseman. Jalen Ramsey, 28 today.
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
And that's it. Those two.
You also got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh,
from
really?
Detroit. Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah. You got Corey Dillon. Remember the running back?
Yeah, the running back. Yeah, Bengals.
Bengals and Patriots.
Yeah.
My boy, Big Pat Williams, man. He played D tackle for Minnesota for a long time. And then one of my hated rivals, Jay Novacek.
Oh, Cowboy.
Yeah. So he
had a good career.
Yeah, he did. He did. So
he was a nice safety net for Aikman for sure.
Yeah. You guys already said Jalen, right? Jalen Brown.
No.
Jalen Brown, the Hooper.
Oh, from Boston.
Yeah, Jalen Brown's birthday also. Yeah, he just hit 35 on us. So I figured I got to put a little respect on his name.
Wait, Jalen Brown's 35 already?
No, put 30.
No,
he scored 35.
He scored 35 on us.
Oh,
he's 25 years old. Yeah,
I was gonna say
he's a young buck, man. He's a young buck. So
all right. We're good.
There's a couple of guys, I thought we should at least say something about.
I like it. Good touch. All right, I got some movies. They're good ones. Not a ton, but good ones. John Wick, 2014.
One of my favorites.
Which one? The first one?
Number one. Yeah,
one.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
still,
it.
Still, as much as I love watching those, still can't get past the fact that this man gets shot, stabbed, poked in the eye 150,000 times, and yet he hit somebody one time. They're out. He's still rolling.
You got to suspend reality, Derek, when it comes to that, man. Don't think about it too much. Just enjoy it.
He still thinks that you could jump off a jet going Mach
Tom Cruise
11.
is jumping from roof to roof.
Yeah,
that's really happening.
He goes Mach 11 in the jet, then turns around and goes over and has some water at the local diner. Yeah,
I can't wait until part 4 comes out next year. But Keanu Reeves is like in his mid-50s. I'm like, man, he can't keep doing all these stunts.
Well, he really is a martial artist, though. He does do this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
You see the video of him with the swords?
Oh yeah.
Well,
he's in his mid-50s now, man. Come on.
Yeah. He's my dude because he owns a motorcycle shop, man. He builds these one-off motorcycles, so that's why he's.
Okay.
He's given away his entire salary to different charities and stuff in movies.
Yeah, he walks it.
I'm talking like 15, 20 million at a time.
Yeah, he is seriously like one of those guys who is all about like giving back for.
And real. I still look at him as Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh yeah.
Speed, with Sandra Bullock. Yeah, he's done a lot. 1978, The Wiz.
Yep.
Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, little Wizard of Oz take off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. That was a big one.
Richard Pryor, Nipsey Russell.
That's right.
Lena Horne.
Sure. Yep. Right. A very underrated movie that came out in 2003 from Mike Tolan, who's a Philly guy, but he's produced a lot of good sports stuff. He did the Last Dance with Jordan, but he's done a lot of really good movies too, sports related movies. Radio. You guys ever see that with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Oh yeah.
Really good.
Yeah,
really good.
There's a person I usually think of when I see the movie Radio. I won't say any names, Rob, but when it comes to radio, there's one individual who reminds me of Radio.
Me?
No.
Oh God. I'm like, what?
Big Birds.
Rob looking at me like, where are you going with this?
I didn't know what. Yeah, I was okay. All right.
I got one more. I got one more birthday, which is actually two birthdays.
Yes.
Reggie and Ronnie Cray. The Cray brothers. Ball so hard. Jay-Z talking about the Cray brothers over in Europe.
I didn't know what
the gangsters, the Cray brothers gangsters.
Okay.
That went right over my head, dude.
Yeah, I didn't.
You never heard of the Cray brothers?
No, I didn't catch that one first time. I got you.
They ran everything, man, over in Europe.
Yep.
They're the mafias. They're the equivalent.
The movie, yes. The English movies, yes. Yes, I saw it. Yes.
Brothers, yes.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. The one brother, you talking about mentally deranged?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the Cray brothers, yes, it was their birthday. So that's why I said,
Happy birthday to the Cray brothers. Yeah. Last movie I have is St. Vincent, which was a good movie with Bill Murray and Melissa McCarthy. Very, very good. Another one. It's kind of under the radar sort of movie, but it was another quirky role for Bill Murray, which it feels like all of his roles are very quirky. You got any other movies there?
High School, the musical, came out in 2008.
Okay.
And
Don't know anything about that.
1986, Soul Man. Remember that one with C.
Yeah,
Thomas
I remember Soul
Howell?
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, James Earl Jones, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good movie too.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely remember that one. All right. So that's going to do it for us.
No.
What do we have tomorrow? Yeah, I'm trying to
Let's
remember
see.
now.
Tomorrow, let me bring up my long list. Of
you
guests.
got. I'm looking it up right now.
All right. 12:30, we have Zach Berman.
Okay.
1 o'clock, we have Mark Jackson.
Perfect.
Yep,
All right.
tomorrow.
And we got a lot in store for later in the week.
Do the rest of the week too. What's the rest?
Thursday, we have former NFLer former Steeler Charlie Batch at 1:30.
All right.
Friday, we have writer from the Delaware News Journal, Martin Frank at 1:30. 2 o'clock, former Steeler Max Starks.
Man.
At 2 o'clock. We're loaded.
We're coming out firing this week.
Yeah, you guys, all right, you guys, I've done my job for the week. You got to find somebody for Wednesday.
Thank you, Derek.
I have nothing on Wednesday.
All right.
I'm trying to get, I'll tell you this. I'm trying to get Lito Shepherd to come on this week. We'll see.
All right. We'd
Trying
love
to
to talk to Lito.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. All right. That's going to do it for us. I want to thank Xander Krause. I want to thank all of you in the chat section, everybody streaming, everybody listening. Don't go anywhere. Dan Cilio with the National Football Show has got you from 3 to 6 Eastern. Everybody, we'll see you tomorrow at noon. We are Sports Take.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.